Boop, boop. Hi,
Hi
everyone.
Hello.
You all ready for this? Hi everyone. I hope you're doing well. I hope our audio levels are okay. Please let us know if they are not. Welcome to D&D Housebound Adventuring episode
19.
Oh my gosh! Really? Was it not 19 last week?
No, it's 20.
Is it
20?
20?
It is 20. You know why? Because I checked YouTube and I was like, oh, it's this week's 19. And then I remembered that I forgot to upload the VOD until like 2 hours ago. So it's not up yet. So it is 20.
Oh, it is 20.
We were like,
wow.
We were like,
last week I was like, man, I really wish that I could like push the circus back until the next episode, and then we did.
Because 20 is a circus number.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I don't need an appendix for circus numbers as well, do I?
Thanks, Rose. 20 after I did the 19 thing.
Hi everyone. I hope you're doing super duper well. I hope you've been safe. Never leave your house ever under any circumstances at all.
Not while D&D's on, at least.
True.
We're gonna play some D&D. Today's episode is brought to you by Tom having shaved a little bit too closely and not being very prepared.
Our regular sponsors.
So we're gonna play some Dungeons and Dragons. Last episode, we had a travel episode. We were traveling. We are currently on our way from Nesmith to Aigburth, where the circus is. The circus that is home to Oro, Vince, the hill giant, and Francois, the magician. We're almost there. On our way to Aigburth, last week we ran into some gnolls who attacked the camp in the middle of the night whilst these guys were having their kip, which... Unfortunately, Vince was the person who was awake at the time to realize that and did lots of very loud shouting. And then I made everyone's ears bleed. Yes. Damp. But the gnolls were defeated. You guys fought valiantly and killed some serious gnoll ass. And whilst the gnolls were fleeing, they were routed. You heard the clashes of battle of mostly gnolls being murdered as they were running away. It turned out they had run away from you into some noble knights, some knights that are associated with the Purple Dragon Knights. You know, the Purple Dragon Knights are kind of the residing militia / army / police force of Cormier, and that they are you know, quite a complicated hierarchy of goodies for the most part. As far as you are aware, he says, accidentally saying, "Oh, some of them are baddies." That wasn't my intention. It's just, you know, it's an organization.
He says covering his tracks.
Writing this down in the notes.
But either way, you bumped into Garius Sariel. If I scroll to find where Garius Sariel is, there he is. He is you had a bit of a conversation. Turns out he was there with a bunch of his pals, whose name I listed and no one wrote down. Elfast, Julian, Laura, Saoirse, and Rowan. Two of those are my siblings' names.
I picked up on that.
And he rocked up and he was like, just first off, hey, how's it going? If you guys have heard anything about a war with Sembia, don't worry about it. It's not real. Nothing's happening. Everything's fine. Which is like big red flag.
Just like a cop answer, like nothing to see here.
Nothing's going on. So that was their intro essentially. This knight in shining armor, stepping forward and saying, and you know, killing the remainder of these horrible evil gnolls. Hoping to come and save the day, realizing they didn't need to because you'd already dealt with them. I had a bit of a conversation, like, "Oh, so you're adventurers? Can I have your adventurous permit, please?" To which you handed over your Nesmith documentation, And he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, if you want to be questing outside of Nesmith, you need something a bit more concrete than that. But also, you'd been in a fight, so he wasn't going to push it." Then you had a discussion about the talisman. So it turned out he recognized the talisman around Randall's neck, and he was wearing a similar one made out of a different material. He made it clear to you that talisman is a talisman of a constal of the Purple Dragon Knights, which is a rank. I'm not going to tell you how high that rank is, but it's a rank.
Tippity-toppity.
It's a rank. And he suggested that they are augmentable. Turns out that some of the rocks that you can put into these can give different effects. And he just happened to have one that he wasn't using. And maybe he took pity on the starter adventurers, but he behooved one. That's not the word. Bequeathed. That's the one. Thank you. Bequeathed one upon Randall. And we avoided the effort of trying to find out what it does. And it gives you, as a bonus action, you can restore 1 hit die worth of health a day. And you can do it in fight, which is nice little thing.
I get beaten up all the time.
It's nice because it removes some of the healing requirements of Neuraly. She doesn't have to do all the healing now. She got something else as well.
I have a role and I'm happy with it. And it is to do last hits and heals. I'll steal all the glory.
So right.
Thank you. You fight and pass out several times, and I'm just gonna do this one thing. Yeah.
This is easy, guys. I don't know why I have so much problem.
So you have that little discussion with him. He says that he's never heard of Caspian Kinshire, but it's possible he's related to the Purple Knights somehow, because if that's your heirloom and it belongs to the Constels, then 1-on-1. And you asked him where there would be some kind of records kept. He said the chapter house in Sazale would be the best bet. Then you went to bed. Standard day.
Normal.
Hey, Paulie D's up in the chat.
Oh shit. The one and only.
Hope you guys have all had a good week. Oh, by the way, it's nice to see you in here. Full, we missed you last week. I mean, you might have been there, but I didn't see you. We missed you. We missed you anyway. Tortu has only 600 chins.
Tortu flexed the other day, so
what a loser! What a loser! Yikes! Get better chins.
Get better chins.
Okay, so today we wake up. That is the start of today's session. We didn't have any of Tom's cliffhanger at the end of last session. We just wake up like a bunch of normies.
Yeah.
You wake up in the morning, still maybe a little bit tired because you didn't sleep super duper well, having been woken up in the middle of the night for a fight. But functionally, you're a-okay, right? You wake up and you can smell bacon.
Roses. Oh.
Which, as you guys have been...
roses. I've made those before.
What? All right, well, that's a story for another time.
Valentine's Day, and I made bacons in the shape of roses and baked them and gave them to someone.
Oh my god, that was tasty.
Right.
I don't like bacon. Tortu's just walking up in here, being a chaotic neutral as usual.
Well, you're not getting any Valentine's Day baked roses from me.
Anyway, so
give me some beef tulips.
It's not beef tulips.
Probably easier than bacon roses, honestly.
I think I want to move on from that statement.
Let's ignore
it. Oh, wait, I feel like there's a joke here I don't get. Damn.
I don't think it. I mean,
it wasn't intended as a joke.
It wasn't intended.
It's disgusting.
It's adjacent. It's joke adjacent.
It's to align to something else that we can't ignore.
Oh dear me. Okay. This is like the pooping in the shower thing. This is what Docs just says something, and you're just like, "What's happening?" Let's move on. You smell bacon, which is unusual because on the road so far, all of the food that you've had for the most part has just been rations, right? Apart from I think maybe like one time someone got up to like forage some stuff, but apart from that, it's been rations. Okay, which are edible. That's pretty much all you can
Awesome.
how you can describe them. They are edible. They're
That's
for the most
how I like my food.
Vaguely flavorless, dry, and tough.
Yep.
But here you are.
That's me.
With the smell of bacon. That's me.
Damn it.
Rations, not Russians. Did I say Russians? Is that what came out?
No, I'm sure you said rations. It just sounded a lot like Russians.
Okay. Okay.
Like you had, I thought you were going to say rushers, because that's another way to describe bacon, right? Or is it still just rashers?
Oh, rashers.
Yeah.
Russians.
Maybe.
Who says Russias?
I don't remember. I'm trying to remember things I've read in
Oh,
books
okay.
before.
No. So
And it's a legit
rashers. You have a rasher of bacon.
Yeah, rasher. Okay, that's what it is. To me, it legit sounded. You said Russians, and I was like,
They don't have that in America. That's not our unit of bacon in America.
You don't have a unit of bacon. So how do you buy your bacon?
in pounds.
Of course.
Damn.
Then-
Americans
But
are.
how, but how many slices to the pound?
It depends on if you have thin cut bacon or thick cut bacon or extra
Exactly.
thick cut bacon.
Whereas when I buy 8 rashers, I know I've got 8.
Yeah, but I can count how many slices of bacon are in the package too, because you can see it. So I'm like, I want that thick cut bacon this time. Guess I'm only getting 12 slices.
Rasher is a different type of bacon, according to Fool.
Oh.
Oh my god. We're gonna get derailed by info, but I want to know. All right, let's go back to the game. But Fool, if you got more information,
You got bacon information.
I just remember reading this in Pillars of the Earth that they had rashers of bacon. She was cutting rashers of bacon. That's all I know.
Okay, right. Hey, Carl, how's it going? Right, so what the fuck was I talking about? Bacon is what you smell as you wake up in the morning. Yum yum. Mm-mm.
Oh shit.
Tasty, tasty. Yum yum. You'll wake up. How are you feeling this morning? I mean, Randall had suffered some wounds.
He's used to it now.
Oh.
So he wakes up feeling fine?
Feeling terrible. It just feels terrible every morning equally. Because he's always injured.
Okie dokie. Well, we've got, how about Nurali? How's Nurali feeling?
I think that I would just be thinking about the comments about if you hear anything about a war, don't, it's totally fine. I think I believed him, but it was just still like
yeah, you did. Your insight roll was terrible.
It was terrible.
Oh my
god. But then also
oh yeah, I rolled for you. It was a crit. It was a nat 1.
Yeah.
It's still in the window if you scroll up.
Oh god. Oh yeah, there it is. That nice.
You had a cat on you, and you didn't want to.
Yeah, I couldn't disturb her to roll. Note to self: Tom doesn't get to roll for me. I think it unsettled just because of the events of the night, but not greatly so. Probably, I think the thing that's most on her mind, actually, amongst all the other things, is the fact that this is one of those times where if they do something accidentally quest-like, they're outside of their jurisdiction, and it's that's worrisome to her. It's just want to get in trouble.
That makes sense. Okay. How about Aro? Aro sleep okay?
Yeah, Aura was pretty fucking hurt after that fight. She was pretty low on health. And she didn't really she was in the air when you were having that conversation with those dudes, so she didn't hear anything about the war or anything, so she was mostly concerned about her pals and trying to rest up, really.
Okay, how's she feeling about, so today is the day you'll be arriving at the circus. And you suspect tomorrow is the day that you'll be giving your performance. How's she feeling about that?
She's mostly thankful that Francois didn't die in the fight last night.
What do you mean?
Just suddenly remembered that Ray almost died last night.
Listen, all right, things happen in D&D. Okay,
Things do happen in
some of it isn't entirely down to the DM. Some of it is. All
Some
right,
of it is.
it's down to the players to try and decipher.
Aura's relieved.
Okay, and he's been healed up now. I assume by Nurli. Is that right?
Well, we slept, so yeah, he's healed up.
Yeah. Okay.
I put it like, I think I ended up ending the fight with like a couple of spell slots left, and I think I did dump like 2 or 3 into him just like in case something happened throughout the night. But I don't know if he was necessarily full, especially because if I scroll up and I look at the cure wounds roll, I do see that the upcast resulted in 1 additional hit point. But but now that we've like slept for the night, he should be okay. I mean, like if she looks around and she sees that somebody still somehow looks injured, although you know, magic sleep refills everything, then that might be a cause for attention from her. But
sure. Okie dokie. Right. So you wake up, you smell the tasty bacon, and you realize that the knights are cooking breakfast. They got up earlier than you did, and I mean that might be a feat considering you've had rotations of watches. But essentially, they said, "You guys go to bed, we'll watch, no worries." You guys went off to sleep. Wake up in the morning, and there is like a full-on hog that has been skewered and cooked. It looks like, I mean, not for the most part, it hasn't been cooking for especially long, so it might take a little while before it actually starts being edible. But it looks like they've taken some of it off into rashers and made that more instantly edible. And you step outside your tent, and you can see that the 6 knights are sat around. And Gariel says, Sariel says, "Good morning, adventurers. Feel free to join us."
Are you cooking bacon?
Correct, yes. Rashers of bacon.
Rashers. Wow, what an odd word. I haven't had bacon in ages. Feels like forever.
Would you like to join us?
I'd love to.
Well, please take a seat. We've rudely interrupted your camp for this, so we might as well share amongst ourselves. I think for the day we are going to remain. We've been on the road for a week or so now, and we're going to take 1 day rest. I've decided. I've made an executive decision. So we're going to remain in this position. I feel like perhaps this road needs a bit of patrolling after those attacks from the Gnolls last night, a brazen attack. That there may be some other dangers on this road that need rooting out.
Smart.
So please join us for breakfast, and then you may be on your way. But for now, take a seat.
Thank you.
Yeah, everyone else going to come join him?
yeah. I think I kind of wandered over there at the same time and just kind of gonna sit down wherever it looks like there's space.
Okie dokie. Well, there's a lot of space on the floor. Unfortunately, there is a huge gaping, not gaping, but like a massive wad of the space is taken up by Vince, who is just sat there like chewing on half of the pig. Like he's just like taken a huge chunk of it off, and it's just like it's not very much for him. So he's like taking his time. Like he's got half of a pig in his hand. Like the other half is just on the skewer still, and half of it's just in the hand of Vince, who's just like he's like nibbling on it.
Do any of them look annoyed by him doing that?
Not even remotely. No.
Okay.
They're completely unfazed. I mean, like you were woken up not only by the smell of the bacon, but also like low key chattering of the knights.
Mm-hmm.
And they've kind of just been sat around, and it seems like they've been having a discussion with Vince. Like they seem pretty at ease with each other, which is, I mean, not surprising to Oro because Vince is chill. But it might be surprising to you because, I mean, it's a world of dichotomies and stupid, knights of being goody two shoes might not always realize that people like hill giants are people too. You know, they might immediately assume evil, but they're getting along just dandy.
Yeah, I think this would probably impact the way that she sees the purple knights. Purple knights, right?
Purple dragon knights. Yeah.
Purple dragon knights. I was like, there's a word I'm forgetting. Like this very positive first impression, you know, where they totally weren't trying to pull the wool over her eyes in any way. Just like she's probably just going to assume that most of them are like this. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if they ever meet any others.
Okay. So Vince just goes, "Be good," and then he takes this. I mean, he's huge, so this pig is like half a pig to him. Is like this in his hand, and he just kind of leans it over to Oro and tries to put some of it in her mouth. It's like, so you're just sat there, and this fucking half a pig is just put in your face, like it's half cooked, like parts of it are still raw, and it's just like put right up against your face.
Oro takes a tiny little bite.
Be good.
Be good. Wow, be careful now. I just reset it, Fuel, because I realized that I stopped it, so it should be fine now.
I've been so distracted that I've missed loads. Wait. British bacon, I've scrolled down by accident, is a bit like a combination of American and Canadian, although obviously Canadian bacon evolved from the British style and not the other way around. With British bacon, you take the loin, but leave lots of lovely fat on it, especially the fat cap. They include. Oh my god, this is way more than I needed to know about bacon. This is I asked especially for this. This is 100% down to me.
Yeah.
So a full rack of bacon, British bacon, is the pork loin with plenty of pork belly attached to it. Oh, I see. So we've got fattier bacon than you. Is that what you're saying?
I think we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Add your bacon, and it looks like he says the loin is the rasher part. So specifically, when you cut rashers, it's the pork loin.
Well, so we've got streaky bacon and
back bacon.
So that must be the.
But those are both rashers.
Yeah, rasher is generally used as like a generic term for a piece of bacon.
Yeah. At least to our knowledge.
Yeah.
to butchers, there might be an actual.
True.
But it could also be that there's like more and less fatty parts of the loin, and so the streaky bacon is the more fatty part, and the other.
I know absolutely
I
nothing.
don't think you really get streaky bacon in America.
I thought streaky bacon was like just American.
Or is it the only one you can get?
All of our bacon has fat in it.
Canadian bacon is the same or similar, the closest that you get to our bacon. And you can get Canadian bacon.
Yes.
You can get Canadian bacon in America. But the streaky bacon that you see in America is the bacon that you see in America from our perspective is streaky bacon. From what I know.
Oh, so that explains it then, because you guys have the two different like cuts of the meat involved in your bacon, and so the streaky bacon is the American bacon, and the other bacon.
But you'd have a rasher of streaky bacon. You'd have a rasher of they'd be the same.
What probably happened was rasher was originally the loin, and then it just became
Almost
like
certainly.
a term of like measurement.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Like stone.
Etymology is important.
Yeah.
In Dragons.
Okay, right.
So
Randall gets a
streaky
D6.
Ooh.
I'm kidding.
What Fool is trying to say is that bacon is whack. It's like limes and lemons in Spanish. Well, do any of us speak enough Spanish to understand that reference, or do we need Torty to?
I think I do.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
limes
yeah.
are limon here, and lemons are limas. Yeah.
Oh.
I remember you saying that before.
That is crazy. The Russian translation of rasher is something something or tonki lomtik bekona. Thanks, Carl.
We're learning so much.
Everyone's just getting in on the bacon facts. I love Tom's knockdown hair. Thank you, Jack. I hate it, but I appreciate you. Hello, all four of you. Hi, Peter or Pitar. I'm not sure how to pronounce that completely correctly, but give it my best shot. Right, let's play some Dungeons and Dragons a little bit, and then we'll talk more about bacon in another 2 minutes.
What kind of bacon are they cutting off?
Well, I mean, Vince is a lot less picky. Vince has just got half a pig.
Yeah. He's gone for the full rack of
Does
pig.
he have the butt half, or is it like split
the
in
butt
half
half.
down the spine? Okay.
No, it's
Oh,
the
it's
butt half.
the good half.
He can do the back end. All right, fine.
That's where all the loin is. Anyway, so he's like nibble on it, and then occasionally he'll just like try and put it up to Oro's face.
Tiny bite.
Tiny
Tiny bite.
Tiny bite. Okay. Is there anything that you want to get out of a breakfast with the knights? Anything you want to do with your morning before heading off?
Because I wasn't there for the initial conversation, I might ask them the general questions, like, so
I mean,
hey.
Go ahead.
Okay. Wait, so I was in the air whilst you were like while you met us. What are you guys doing? What is it? I don't even really know who you are.
Oh, you're asking them. I thought you were asking these guys.
No.
You were just like, who the fuck are you?
Who are you?
Like, I've just woken up from being blacked out for like 4 days.
Yeah, I was really in a lot of pain.
Like, first I was like, oh man, I forgot to tweet the D&D stream, and then I come back and I'm like, wait, she's talking to me. My name is Gary Sariel, and you are Oro, I'm led to believe. I know where I recognize you.
Where?
You're the circus act.
Yeah.
That's excellent. This must be the giant.
Yes.
Vince is part of your. This is incredible, absolutely ineffable. I am shocked and awed to be in your presence.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
We so like I said, we came through Walloon and we went through Egbert, and I mentioned to your friends only last night that we saw signs. There are signs.
But there's signs. The
There are
circus.
signs with yourself and Vince upon them.
Looking dashing, I'm sure.
Looking incredible. I am very. If we didn't have somewhere to be.
Yes, I was going to invite you, but yeah, it seems you're busy fellas and lasses. There's women there, right? There is.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a Laura and a Saoirse. I kind of got mates' rates down.
Yeah, shit. Next time.
So you're part of the circus then?
Yeah. Yes. But I'm just taking a break for now. Taking a break
from the circus to be an adventurer.
Yes.
Interesting. So I mean, I saw the sign. But I didn't see. So you fight, but it's a performance.
It's a fight. Yes. Performance. Yes.
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. What a world we live in.
So you guys are like guard people? Guard people?
Yes, apologies. You did ask. Yes. No, my name is Garius Sariel. This is Elphus, Julian, Laura, Saoirse, and Rowan. We are Purple Dragon Knights, members of the Order, the organization that protect Cormier and its borders.
Wow. How long have you done that for?
I mean, Saoirse, how long have you been a Purple Dragon Knight? And she goes, well, since I was born, really. I was born into it. My parents were Purple Dragon Knights and raised me to be Purple Dragon Knights. And my brothers and sisters are also Purple Dragon Knights. They're blades, though. They're only blades. They're not knights. They're just blades.
Oh, is that?
I'm a tell sword.
So it's higher up than that.
Oh, yeah. It is.
Okay. Wow.
Don't rub it into them too much if you ever see them, though.
No.
They'll not take it very well. My parents are very proud of me, but those guys, we don't put it down on them.
Oh,
it's not fair.
No.
I mean, I get to be with Garius fucking Sariel here.
Oh.
And he's like, seriously, please, watch your language. Stop flattering me. She goes, have you not heard this guy before?
I mean,
you don't know who we're sitting with.
I mean, no offense, but no.
this guy he's the greatest. He's an absolute legend in the
Oh.
Purple Dragon Knights. He's a Constal.
What does that mean?
I mean,
Everyone just there's like an awkward silence for a second where all of the Purple Dragon Knights kind of like don't look like they look amongst each other and then they look awkwardly to Garius. Like it's a bit of an awkward thing you've asked that question. Like it's awkward that you don't know.
I'm
like-
sorry. I kind of grew up in the forest.
Yeah, I'm
So
a
I just-
circus goblin. Oh no shit.
No, I'm a circus goblin.
I do like the phrase "I'm a circus goblin." It's pretty great.
I'm a circus goblin. And Garius just says he kind of breaks the tension and just says, it is an honored position within the ranks of the Purple Dragon Knights. I'm very I was given a land. I was given land and a title as part of my my responsibilities to the realm as a reward for my services. It's very humbling the way these soldiers of mine treat me, but I'm just a servant of the realm, and they're all just like you can see that they're kind of looking at each other in a way that suggests that they're like, does this guy not know what a fucking legend he is? Like, what the fuck? He's being so humble right now. This is insane.
Surely you must have some amazing stories.
Oh, well, I would not bore you with them. I mean, some of them are classified. But it's safe to say that I have led a life that is it's like adventuring, just for Cormyr. Perhaps one day you will find yourselves in the ranks of the Purple Dragon Knights yourselves.
Maybe. Do I know what classified means?
Like the word?
No, yeah, like is that something that like commonly people would know, and that specifically?
Oh, I mean, you could easily extrapolate that to a
Okay.
Something that would be more appropriate for the common tongue, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the idea that he is of a high enough rank that some of the things that he would be working on would be things that aren't necessarily things that he could discuss.
That's fair.
I mean, he fucked that up a little bit by walking in and being like, by the way, definitely not going to be at war with Zambia. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, everything seems above board. I'm sort of a big deal. So like you can tell that also. Hey Adam, how's it going? You thesaurus time. We're talking about bacon. I mean, you can kind of tell that he's being humble about it, and his him being humble about it is making the other knights confused. It could be because they're used to being around people of his rank or of a rank higher than them, who are very like cocksure and talk about all their great deeds all the time and stuff like that. But from the most part, it just seems that he's trying to not be the center of attention, because he just doesn't want to be like, I'm so fantastic. Oh.
I know the coolest thing ever.
I'm doing the best. Fair. So have you guys just been like patrolling around here or something? Is it just
We have been we travel from the border, and we return now to Cizale, to the king.
the king? Yeah.
Yes, no.
Well, probably to tell him that those whatever rumors about that war were not true, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Rumors about the war?
Apparently,
No.
somebody's been starting rumors about a war with.
Oh yes, no.
Siberia.
There have been rumors, but it is nothing to be feared. No, nothing to be feared.
Can I do an insight check on that now? Now that I've heard it.
I knew that Katie was angling for that.
I was trying to drag it out in some way. Like, come on, give me the war talk.
Give me the water.
Give me the war talk.
Two countries hate each other a lot.
When two countries hate each other a lot. Yeah, no, you can see pretty much straight through that. It's pretty clear to you that. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that the countries are at war or they're definitely going to be at war, but there's definitely tensions. At least you can tell that from what he's saying that it's not. He's trying to hide something about that topic. Although it doesn't seem that he's doing it for a nefarious purpose. Like, he doesn't look like he's trying to be. It just seems like.
I am the puppeteer.
He's
He
just.
grows a mustache.
He's just trying to not talk about it. Oh, he's just trying to avoid saying something he shouldn't say.
Okay. All right. Just slowly. I was like, okay.
So you're on the way to the circus.
Yeah.
Well, that's very exciting. Are you all going?
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was also just excited by the new bacon fact that Carl came up with.
Oh my god.
In the Caribbean, there were landless boar hunters who smoked their meat over a slow fire in little huts the French called boucans, something like that, making jerky. The folks were known as buccaneers. Their biggest customers were the pirates in the Caribbean, and eventually the term buccaneer was associated with pirates in the region.
Wow.
Wow. Bacon
No,
fact.
Super cool.
That is a good bacon fact. Oh
Damn.
my god. Shit. Well, now, chat.
The level has been
We're
set.
all about the level's been set. Yeah, the level's been set. Interesting facts. Just go. All right.
How bacon has shaped the world.
Where's there's a regular in Jenny's chat whose name I forget because I'm bad with names. Is it Richie? Is it Richie, the one with the crab facts?
Oh, crap. They're not really crab. I mean, I guess there might have been a couple of facts in there, but yeah. Richie Crypt is. Yeah,
That's not Richie Crypt. He comes in with a bunch of crab facts all the time, and I love them.
Oh.
I love them. Right. Anyway.
As long as there's no crab pictures, because then I might scream.
True.
Oh dear. Oh yeah. Are we not fans of crabs?
No, there was a whole.
Do you
thing
remember?
where-
I remember it was
Yeah.
lobsters. But it was like lobsters.
No,
and
it was
crayfish.
crabs because they look like spiders.
Ah.
Spiders of the sea, and somebody linked a picture of crabs, and I didn't know what I was clicking into, but you all laughed at it, so I clicked on it, and then there were just a bunch of crabs, and I freaked out because my brain went, spiders.
Sorry, my brain is a sieve. Okay.
Okay.
So, is there anything else that you want to try and eke out of this conversation? Oh, there's a snake. Oh, you didn't hear that. It's fine. I opened my bottle of Pepsi.
Go for it.
When I opened my bottle of Pepsi, I heard it goes, like, it's a snake.
From our perspective, we were like, what?
Where is he trying to distract us from these
Yeah.
war things
What
now?
is the Sariel guy up to? I think that'd be pretty much it. At some point, I think probably either to Vince or maybe one of the nights, I think I might prestidigitation a bit of the bacon to taste like maple candied bacon or something like that, just to see the
Ooh.
reaction, but nothing like of substance.
Okay. I'd like to point out we've got another bacon fact in full here. First recorded death by bacon. In 1543, an English servant named Elizabeth Brown was warming herself by a fire when she was crushed by 4 sides of uncooked bacon that had fallen from a hook. It's I mean, it's a very sad story, but also when you take the word bacon there and apply rasher, just like these huge rashers of bacon.
And then killed someone. What a way to go.
Oh my goodness.
Buried in meat.
That's all I want to go.
Say it suggestively, it'll make people assume things.
Yeah, Docs would never. I would never say something suggestive. So
No, never. He would
people
never say
could-
something that
Completely
is
innocent.
weird in
The whole
context.
No,
No.
that's not me.
Okay, so is there anything else that you guys would like to do with your morning / breakfast?
No.
Nope.
Okay, that's fine. Okie dokie. So, do you have a bacon in the shower?
Do you have bacon?
I read it. I looked. I clocked it, and then I looked away, and I was like, "Oh, I get it." So you prepare your things, get back on the road. As you leave, the knights stand up and shake your hand and say. Gareth says, it was an absolute pleasure to meet you, young adventurers. I hope that we see your exploits across Cormyr for the defense of our great nation. I'm sure we will meet again. And he
Thank
shakes
you.
your hand.
Keep doing that good shit, sir.
Yes, I will keep doing. I'll do me. You do you.
That's
It's
right.
circus speak. You'll get used to it.
Okay.
If you fancy
Speaking
a day
of,
off sometimes, come to the circus, I'll put your name down. I'll put your name down.
Okay, so I mean, they all they wave goodbye. They're gonna sit around and eat the rest of their pig. Have a day off since they've been on the road for a long ass time. And back on the road you guys go. It takes half a day. I totally also I love that during that fight and the last couple of scenes, completely forgot about Chad.
I was just going to mention him.
I assumed he was sleeping somewhere.
Okay, well I didn't forget about Chad. Chad was sleeping the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But Chad was sleeping in the cart, which is why I
Right.
haven't seen. He's just
Yeah.
being conked out.
He slept through the whole thing.
Yeah. But you find him. It's like something smells like bacon. This is now like an hour down the road. You guys have been. He's only just woken up. Does something smell like bacon? You guys are now like occasionally you'll get a whiff of the fact that your clothes are like smoky and kind of have that bacony smell clinging to them. And he's just like, "Did you guys have bacon?
The knights made it.
What? Knights? You,
We had a fight and everything last night.
with
But you didn't
who?
wake up.
It's
A
some
bunch of gnolls
gnolls, yeah.
and
What are
wolves.
those?
Assholes.
You didn't give me any bacon?
You were sleeping here for like, I don't know how long it's been, 13 hours?
I had to walk barefoot for like 3 days.
Does Vince have any, is he still munching on the bacon a little bit?
He's got like, it's like the carcass. It's like just bits of bone now. And there's like very small bits that he can't reach, like with his teeth and stuff.
Mm.
And he just kind of hands it over and goes, "There you go." And he's just so like Chad is now sat here with just half the skeleton of a pig.
There you go, you're welcome.
There you go. Bacon.
Thanks, bro. Oh my god, what the fuck do I do with this?
Okay.
Looking out in the corner over there, he's got like a fucking skeleton on him. He's like,
Vince, take it off him, please.
he goes, okay. And he just kind of like drops out of the window, littering Vince. Jesus.
Jesus.
It's
Um,
biodegradable. It's fine.
Right, yeah.
so
I'm gonna take some rations out and I'm gonna prestidigitation them to taste like bacon.
oh,
And I'm hand them like a handful of granola and be like, "Here, you can have this."
a handful of granola.
Yeah, but it's gonna
I
taste
love
like
that.
bacon.
What is happening?
It tastes like bacon now.
Oh my god, that is amazing. You could do that to anything?
As long as it's not alive.
You amaze me. Oh my god. Are you an angel?
No, it's just a spell.
That's amazing. Oh my god. And then he just kind of sits there eating his granola, staring at you in awe.
Bacon angel.
Hashtag.
Hashtag.
Oh my god, bacon granola. Jesus Christ. Right. So, on the road we go. And it does not take you too long. It takes about half a day for you to reach your destination. You pull up in Aigburth to begin with, as Ora will tell you. On the other side of Aigburth is where the circus is. And you find that you are surrounded by very small, kind of well-kept buildings that appear more functional than anything else. The small village of Aigburth, as you go through it, if you recall, was mostly built around the circus. It was built as a kind of just, there's a circus here. It's pretty much permanent now. Some people wanted to take advantage of the fact that there is a lot of traffic in the area, make a few small businesses. There's a tavern called the Aigburth Arms and stuff like that. And you find your way through it easily enough. There are a couple of people who are in the village who will wave as your cart goes by, and you can see that as you're in the cart, you hear the discussions occasionally with Francois, who's saying hello to people as you pass.
The cart is like very clearly a circus cart, right?
Oh,
It's
super
got
clearly,
the...
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You got the logo on the side of it and all that kind of stuff. It's very obvious. So it's like they're just kind of having a nice little conversation as time goes on. The wheels are rattling along the cobblestones as you get into the village proper, and then off the beaten track you go down a very well worn, larger dirt path that leads off of the main road into the circus, which is not far. And as you do so, you kind of the cart takes a couple of turns and corners around some of the larger tents, and you pull up and out you step. In front of you, you can see there are 3 huge circus top tents. The one in the middle is the one that matches the same color scheme as the circus advertisement on the side of the cart. You can see it's lots of kind of blues and yellows and golds. You can see that there are 2 other circus tops that are also very large, but that are kind of like attached to the main tent. It appears that, as Francois has discussed, that there are other circuses that have come to join the celebrations. These have other color schemes. You can see that one of them is like black and gold and orange, and you can see that there is another to the side that is kind of like a green and purple and orange, kind of a weird mix. And you can see that they have their own large signs over openings in the tents, as well as kind of booths that line looking for tickets and that kind of thing. Let me scroll through my notes. There's too much to scroll through.
I'm
What is the
continuing to
name?
knit for Turnip, by the way. That's what I've been doing with all this time, is knitting Turnip sweater for the winter.
What was the name of the circus? Circus of Columbia. No, Columba. Circus of Columba is Ora's one, which is the center tent. And the kind of the black and gold one, you can see, has a large sign that says the Circus of Wonders, and the other tent has Her Browning's Humble Circus. And from that, you might deduce that I'm going to have to possibly do a terrible German accent. I'm very sorry, Snorts. I'm very sorry.
Oh,
It might not
no.
happen. I haven't decided yet.
See how it feels in the
I
moment.
might be too shy.
Nothing can be worse than me attempting a French accent, so I think you'll be okay.
So you rock up to these 3 large tents. You can see like so the one in the center is we have ways of making you talk. So I mean, like the problem with my German accent is that I lose it insanely quickly. But that's a lot. There's a lot of my accents, so we'll see. If I do it, I'll make sure to continually apologize to Snorts all the way through it, and any other German or German-speaking. He's a tutu. If I do it, anyway. We are in front of the circus. Okay. All right. This is something that you have never seen before in your years at the circus. You have never seen more than one circus come together in this kind of fashion. You have been to other circuses occasionally, and other performers from other circuses will occasionally come to perform at your circus as a kind of like residential stay, like stay with you for a week, kind of do a couple of guest shows or whatever, and then they'll move on. And you know that the rotation of where the circus happens is like, for the most part, the circus is pretty chill throughout the week. They might do some small shows, they might do some like matinees or whatever, or they might have like so on the Friday they'll have a day where like they have market stalls open and smaller kind of fun things that you can do. On the Saturday it will be the show basically, and they might do a second showing on the Sunday, but for the rest of the week it's pretty much dead. Like they'll be working on their own thing. And you have arrived on the Friday, or the equivalent in the D&D world of whatever the fuck a Friday is. Just like they probably don't have November, whatever, like some other stupid fucking fantasy name. Is there clowns at the circus? Don't be guessing my clowns. No, they're not going to be surprised.
Send in the clowns.
So anyway, don't be clowns, please don't be clowns. So you've never seen this kind of event this size before. You recognize the center top as your tent, and you see a couple of people around that you might vaguely recognize from the town or the village, but also from your own circus. No one yet that you've been like, oh my god, I gotta go fucking talk to this person, because it's not been that long since you left. But there are loads of people that you don't recognize. Some of them appear to be like, as you pulled up through the village, you recognize that there are a lot more people in the village than there usually are, and you kind of assumed that that's because lots of people are coming to see the extravaganza of 3 circuses all coming together for one event. So there are tons and tons of people that you don't recognize. Plenty of patrons. Like some patrons will come back to see the circus a lot. So you've got the city of Walloon relatively close, and people will come through there to come and see the circus. And some people who are residents of Walloon might come and see the circus, a couple times a year or something. So there are faces in the crowd that you recognize, but there are tons and tons of people who match the description of performers as well that you definitely do not recognize. There is a high number, or higher than average number, of kenkus that you notice. You may, for the most part, never have met a kenku. Oro has seen a couple in Oro's time. Kenkus are bird people, for the most part. Kenkus are small in stature, on average, not all of them, but on average they are small in stature, and then for the most part meet the description of blackbirds, who are bipedal. And Are normal blackbirds bipedal? Do they count as bipedal for having got 2 feet? Damn it.
Oh, yeah.
Humanoids. Oh, do we get a frame drop? Oh no. It feels like months, but it's only been a few weeks. Exactly. Normal blackbirds don't have hands.
Are you sure about that?
When you say that, I imagine Hazo's like
Yeah.
notification.
Are you sure about that? Yeah.
Are you
me
sure
too.
about that?
Me too.
So you
Either
said
way.
that I've never seen a Kenku before.
You tell
Probably.
me. I mean, so
I would say probably not.
I'm saying. Oh, did my?
It was normal for me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
that
gonna
is
close Discord just in case. So Kenku's in this version of the Forgotten Realms. I don't know whether or not this is accurate for the normal Forgotten Realms or for other people's games. Are very rare. I mean, they have their own. This is meta knowledge, by the way. Like the meta. They have their own way of life for the most part, and they don't tend to spend a huge amount of time embedded in other cultures. Mostly because their way of communicating is very different to 99% of everyone else, and they find it difficult to fully acclimatize, where they could just be living in their own society quite happily. So they are rare. So seeing one is something, but you've spotted at least so far 3. They appear to all be going about their business. They all seem to have something to do, and they are doing that thing immediately. Like, they aren't just like milling around having conversations and stuff. They are kind of, you can see that they're wearing kind of leather, like kind of as close as you can get to quite close fitting leather that's black, and you can see that it has a like a logo on it that looks like a large black feather gilded with gold around it. And you can see that it kind of matches the same color scheme as the Circus of Wonders.
What was the other circus called again?
So you've got the Circus of Wonders, and you've got Her Browning's Humble Circus. This is the cool version of the Forgotten Realms, the unmemorable realms. The sexy Kinku.
After seeing
Kinku!
a couple of them.
Oh my god, that's
Kinku.
brilliant.
It's genius.
Oh no.
It's genius.
Oh, it's gonna be hard for me to forget. The stupid Kinku every time. I think after seeing the one, I would probably be too distracted by watching them to say anything. But after seeing another, I'd probably. Are you like kind of leading the way really far ahead of us, or are we all kind of milling about together?
I don't know. Have we parked up somewhere on the?
You've parked up and you've stepped outside your car now. That's pretty much where we led you to.
Okay. So we're just getting our stuff off the cart then, I'd guess. I don't think we're specifically walking here.
So I'm gonna kind of lean down to Oro because I don't want to be rude about it and be like, "What are those?
What are those?" And I know them by name, right?
No, so you don't know these Kenkus by name,
right?
But you have seen Kenkus.
Oh no, I know.
before,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
But you don't know these Kenkus. What you're assuming is that they are. I mean, it's not uncommon for. I mean, circuses themselves are relatively uncommon, so whatever. But people who work for specific circuses might have a badge or some merchandise or something on them that suggests that they're from a specific circus, whilst they're in the company of other circuses. So when you've had visitors to your circus, they have come and they've had something on them that suggests that they're from XYZ circus. So for example, with Her Browning's Humble Circus, you've had a couple of people visit you from there before, and you've got along fine with them. They've come and they've done a residence, whatever, just a week. and they've done a sideshow or whatever, and then they've moved on. But the problem with that is that also they like to sell merchandise to make money. So just anyone can wear their stuff. Like it's like when you're behind the scenes and you're wearing that kind of thing, you're like, oh, okay, like I don't recognize you, but you look like you're from the circus. Just saying, like, you're probably with this. But out in the wilderness, if you see someone with it, it's possible that they're just a fan. You know?
Okay.
The gin pop.
But roll me a history check. Aura, please.
Okay. An 8.
Okie dokie. Yes, no,
8
you
histories, please.
yeah, you can't draw any correlations between the Kenkus and the circus that you're aware of, but they've got the same thing emblazoned on them as the Circus of Wonders. You can see that the Circus of Wonders in itself, and it's on its logo, like it's kind of like this billboard in front of the tent that is clearly the Circus of Wonders tent. You can see that there is a feather involved in its motif.
Can I look closer at the Kenkus and see if they have any writing on the backs of their clothing that says if they're like a staff or yeah.
Staff Kinku, the stagehand Kinku.
Give me a perception check.
14.
So there's nothing that necessarily says I am definitely a member of staff, but you can just tell from their like attire and stuff that it doesn't look necessarily super comfortable, but it looks functional. That like, you know, partly it might be like safety material. They've got a couple of kind of what material? What's the word I'm trying to think of? Don't say bench. It's like some straps and stuff. They're keeping their. So they've got like, you know, feathers and stuff over their body. It looks like for the most part their clothing is trying to make sure that they don't have any loose ends that are sticking out. And you can in your mind you immediately go to like stage attire, because for the most part you want to control every possible risk of something going wrong. And to do that, you will ensure things like feathers don't get caught in a rope and tear out and shit like that. Like that's where your mind goes. So that, because it doesn't look like something that would be especially comfortable to wear just out and about.
Yeah,
like nobody would do that to themselves. It's like the leather version.
This is getting more and more kinku.
Yeah, it is, honestly.
But it's like, I mean, for a kenku, and you've met or you've seen kenkus who aren't wearing like work clothes. It looks restrictive, but not in a sexy way.
Like that's the qualifier you have to make at this point. Like
not sexy. Okay.
With this chat. Yeah.
No. But I know that they're called kenkus, right?
Yes, you are aware they are called kenkus.
Okay.
You're aware of a couple of defining features of them. Has Oro had a discussion with a kenku before?
I think if she would have, if someone would have come over to be in the circus for a week, then they would have, yeah.
Okay, so you'll know then that kenkus don't have normal conversations in the same sense that everyone else does. They don't really have their own language as such. They will mimic sounds, which, I mean, I know you guys as players know, but I'm just reiterating. Yeah. So kenku will repeat sounds that they have heard in the immediate past or at some point in their lives as ways to communicate. That could be someone, I mean, you can have a full-on conversation with a kenku, but it'll be using someone else's voice. And it won't necessarily be that they are, it's not always like you're talking to a bird, right? They have the appearance of a bird, and for the most, I mean, they have kind of avian mannerisms where sometimes they'll cock their head to the side or they make like chirping noises and stuff like that. But they are capable of having normal conversations. When they are old and when they are mature, they are capable of almost not having any of those features. If they've spent enough time around human society, that they'll be able to construct enough sentences just from words they've heard, right? The younger Kenkus, I mean, so for example, let's say a Kenku visited your circus at some point, and they brought a kid. The younger Kenkus struggle a lot more. A fledgling. They struggle a lot more with having conversations because most of their vocabulary comes from other Kenkus, and they don't necessarily need to have conversations in common or whatever. So the older the Kenku is, and the more time that they've spent around people who speak common or whatever, the more able they are to have just normal conversations. But their dialect, vernacular, like accent, everything will change as they talk to you. But they are, as in your experience, just people.
Okay. Wait, so what did Nurli ask? What
are they?
What are they? Those are Kenkus. Have you never seen them before?
No.
They're like, they imitate things that you say or that they've heard before. They'll have like loads of different voices for things. Like if you try and ask them something, they'll say a bunch of words, but it'll be in like different like tones and voices, and like they'll make sounds of like pans clattering or anything like that. It's really cool. Very difficult to have a conversation with, but very cool. I don't know those ones specifically, I don't think, from here, but pretty cool.
That is interesting.
That was a good description.
I'm just kind of like not awkwardly, like rudely staring, but definitely like as I'm generally like looking around at things, kind of like whoa.
Kenkus are my only DM weakness, trying to improvise for them. Just sorry. Kenkus are awful. I don't know why I did this to myself. No, Kenkus are fun. Kenkus are a lot of fun. But I absolutely no, you're right. It is difficult to, which is one of the reasons. So in my headcanon, is exactly my description just now. Is that the older the Kenku is, the more capable they are of just having conversations, and it makes sense because so their shtick is that they imitate sounds. If you are old enough, you've had enough conversations that you've heard enough words, right? The same way that we, learn words from hearing other
Kenkus at heart.
We're all Kenkus at heart, right? But we have a consistent voice.
I don't know.
The Kenku in the Adventure Zone talks normal, well, without a weird speech pattern. I'm not somebody who watches a lot of D&D, so I don't know the Adventure Zone. I've heard of them, but I don't know. I was looking up Kenku's voices. I googled it because I was like, what do people do to voice Kenkus? And the only example that I could find from a very brief search, because I'm lazy, was Matt Mercer
Eerie.
being full on bird. And I was like, that's in my head, that's not how Kenkus always are. Like, I mean, like, they're birds, sure, but also like their shtick is that they replicate noises. So that noises that can be words,
Words are just noises, man.
Yeah. Just read a dictionary to them before you start the conversation.
See,
you'll have to excuse me when my Kenku conversations, if they happen, aren't they're not up to par with what you have in your head.
And here I like assumed fully that you like put the Kenkus in so that you could slip in and out of accents and just do whatever you wanted, and it would be perfectly like commonplace.
From now on, everyone's a Kenku.
Genius.
Talking weird there, Kenku.
Just everyone takes off a mask and they're a Kenku underneath every single NPC.
That just becomes the underlying like story from now on. You're actually in a dream. Everyone's a Kenku. Like, oh my Sorry, I lent it to Kenku. Oh my
Raised
god.
by Kenku's the backstory.
Excellent.
Oh my god, would they make you little wings to tie onto your arms? Oh, it'd be so cute.
That's adorable.
Sorry, continue.
So you've got your stuff off of the cart now, and the day is ahead of you. Like I said, you've got the 3 tents in front of you. The large one in the middle is the Circus of Columba. Although she hasn't necessarily discussed with you, or hasn't said that's me. You can see there's like a path that leads towards the main tent. Like this is the main entrance, and you can see that it's been there for a long ass time. The floor is trodden to shit because it's just dried dirt
So
for
popular.
now.
And the color schemes match, right?
The color schemes match, but also you've got these kiosks as you go down towards it, and there are like banners and fencing and stuff, and you can see that there are some signs. And one of the big old signs is Oro. There are a couple different ones that you can see. You can see Francois is on one of them. You can see that there is a what appears to be some kind of contortionist snake person.
Surely that's cheating.
Who you can see is she is advertised as Sylvania. And you can see that for those of you who are, for metagaming, this is a Yuan Ti. This is a snake person who is from the waist down completely snake. From the waist up has arms,
Completely snake. Oh.
but otherwise also completely snake. Snake head, human arms.
So Trogdor.
Trogdor.
Slan.
Sorry,
Not called Slan.
Sylvania with
God.
lots of S's.
God.
What's Salon?
It's a character from Neverwinter Nights,
Oh.
I think. I think I'm sure it's sort of Slan.
Burning the countryside.
So anyway, you can also see
Sorry.
there are a couple other signs, including the amazing Ariandia, who is depicted doing some acrobatics. She's on some silks in her backdrop. And you can see that there is another sign for someone called Salvo the Incredible, who is an orc gentleman who has who looks like very stereotypically buff, just buff as fuck, like strongman style, like topless from the waist up, just straps on the arms that he's just like just doing this like huge power curls and stuff. And there are a couple of others that are dotted around, but the one that draws your attention most is the one of Oro and Vince, which I'm going to leave to your imagination because I'm going to get Jenny to draw it as one of my commission thingies.
I was thinking when you said something earlier, I was like, it'd be cool if I would have drawn that in preparation
Yeah,
for
I
this
literally
shit.
when I said that, I was like, fuck, I should have got Jenny to draw that. Damn. But that is what it is. Topless from the waist down. Is that what I said? Oh,
Yeah, you did. I pulled the face like.
You said topless from the waist up, and
Yeah.
I was like,
oh,
I mean, you know.
okay. Well, I mean,
It was just
I'm in GM. There's a lot of words that I've got to say.
True.
Good ones.
I wasn't going to say anything because I know exactly what that's like, where you stop and you like brain glitch and you like describe the word that you just said. Like,
I
and
mean,
you're
I
like,
brain glitch when I'm not DMing.
I mean, same, but like,
This is
no one
DMing.
cares. Yeah.
Okay.
Are there circus themed trinkets at any of these stores?
So the kiosks outside seem to be just for ticket sales.
Oh, okay.
You could talk to Oro about that, and I recommend that you do, because Oro would know that as it is a Friday is a day where there are activities, and like there are smaller shows on the Friday. So the Saturday and the Sunday, the big shows where there are loads of huge acts. Friday is kind of like a small markets around. There are stores where you can buy merchandise. There are like cool activities to do, but it's not the main day. It's kind of like the day where you might take the kids, that they're only gonna have an attention span of like an hour. Like, if you want to go and buy merchandise without the huge crowds, then Friday's your day.
Circus light.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Let's call it Tomtology. Tomtology.
Tomtology.
Tomtology.
I love it.
Tomtology. I like it. That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
I see the poster of me and Vince and just go, me. See that? You see that over there?
That was
Ooh.
That's me. That's me.
At this moment, you're kind of walking with Chad and Vince and Francois, and Francois kind of Vince is now removing stuff from like the trunk of the car and like kind of holding them on his shoulder. And he just kind of he goes to like pick up Oro, but like not in like a I'm picking you up, in like a puts hand down, stand on hand if you want, which is something that you guys have done. Like it's kind of like he's falling into habit. Like when you guys kind of you spent so much time together that you kind of being on Vince's shoulder or whatever is not like an uncommon thing. But you would mostly do it behind the scenes rather than in front of crowds and stuff. So the problem was that Vince never really fully understood why, whereas you got it. So the idea is that you guys don't really want to necessarily be seen with each other in front of the crowds, because when you do your fight, you don't want them to have the illusion ruined.
Yeah.
If they've seen you guys hanging out in the day on the Friday or whatever, and you've been buddy and pally, and then on the Saturday you're on stage beating the shit out of each other, it's not gonna work out for them. So Vince doesn't really understand why you can't just continue to be buddy and pally all the time. Like behind scenes it's fine, like when you're with the circus folk, whatever, it's grand, but in front of all the crowds and stuff, for the most part, at least in the past, you've been a bit like, no. It's supposed to be baddie. And he kind of like puts his hand out to like get out of my hand, I'm gonna put you up on my shoulder, here we go, wee.
Well, maybe I should go show Randall and Nearly the inside of the sex tent.
And then kind of Francois turns around and goes, Vince, no. And he kind of puts his hand on Vince's hand and pushes it away from you, just gently. He says, Vince, help me with these things. We will see them at the back in later. She will show her friends around the circus for now. And then he goes, okay, see you later, Oro.
Bye, Vince. I love you.
And he kind of, he stomps off with the stuff on his shoulder. And so they go around the outside, around the outside.
3 times.
All the way back. To get to there's an area that's kind of like off limits behind the circus that is kind of kept for residents, like caravans and other tents and stuff. And that's where they'll be heading off to now, probably, just to go, settle in. And you'll go meet them back there at some point. But you wanted to show everyone the circus tents. Cool.
I'm just kind of looking around, slightly amazed at everything.
I mean, considering your upbringing, this is fucking fantastical.
Wild.
So as you are walking around here, this is the most diverse population that you see. I mean, you've you've come from Nesmith, which in itself is diverse. Nesmith is diverse because it is, filled with adventurers. So the people that you see there are, some of them are like, veteran adventurers who are like covered in battle scars and shit like this. Whereas the people here, you can see like these are just people. You've got people from all kinds of different races and backgrounds, kind of mingling and just doing people things. As you walk through the main aisle down towards the tent proper, you kind of pass by one of the ticket kiosks, and somebody from inside shouts, "All right, over here!"
Who is it?
It is Hank the Plank.
The plank.
Hank the Plank. You recognize Hank the Plank.
Is he a pirate?
No, he's not a pirate.
Oh.
Hank the Plank is a juggler. He's a juggler, and he's one of the minor acts. He kind of does a bit of everything behind the
digging.
scenes. But he, getting off my cat. That was a stretch. A bit of digging. But he does some kind of background stuff. And so one of his side jobs is kiosking, getting tickets and stuff. All right.
Hank!
What are you doing? What are you here for?
I was told to come back here. For the performance.
You performing again?
Yeah.
I thought you were like an adventurer.
Yeah, but special times. Special, reasons.
Oh well. Who are these?
Oh, these are my new adventuring buddies. It's Randall, nearly. Chad. It's not an adventuring pal, but we found him.
He's a
Found
string
him on
we
the
took
road.
in.
Oh, fine. Well, do they need tickets?
Well, I was hoping they could just come in with me, Special.
Oh, no, full price for them. He looks around and he's like,
Oh yes, full price for them. Uh-huh.
full price?
Yeah.
It's so full price.
Yeah, free
And
tickets,
then
please.
he kind of so he has like an ink stamp that he kind of like he gestures for you to put your hand out.
Mm.
Oh, I'll take all your gold now.
Here's all your gold.
Jingle, jingle.
Jingle, 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 jangle. Jingle, jingle.
I go to reach for a coin purse, and then I'm like,
Jingle, jingle, jangle.
And he sees you doing that. He's like, and then he kind of like stamps you on the back of the hand. He's like, oh, thank you for all the gold you gave me. What a great transaction.
Anytime.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
Great.
Mhm.
Iro, I'll see you later.
See you later.
You leave. You have these stamps which you assume for the most part will allow you access for the day, right? So as you do so, you realize that the ink is kind of like it's kind of a little bit like translucent. It's kind of like a fancy glitter to it.
ooh.
I'm trying to think of the word. We were talking about
Opalescent?
it with the hair the other day.
Opalescent.
Not opalescent, the other one. Like kind of holographic.
Oh, holographic. Yeah.
So it's like it's like a cool like little mirage kind of thing going on. It's very pretty. And like you kind of like if you touch it, you kind of see that it doesn't rub off especially easily. It's just a stray human we found. Thesaurus Rex, Thesaurus. Shit, I can't think of anything else that would go with that. Whatever.
Do you think Saurus? Is there alcohol in that? I feel like you wish there was.
So you have your stamps, which Oro will recognize as VIP.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which is why they fancy AF.
It
But you also know just from background knowledge that these are the kinds of things they'll last like a week before they go anywhere. They're not going to wash off. It's like a minor illusion kind of ink that's been like specially made.
Cool.
And it'll be something that it's not going to rub off easily. It's gonna be fine, like backstage pass kind of style. And that people, for the most part, I mean, you're not going to get accosted by anybody anyway. The only difference would be that if there are people from other circuses that you don't recognize, but you know your way around the circus well enough, that's not going to be an issue.
Sweet.
So you can walk through into the main tent. As you do so, you can see that it is filled with people. It is a very excited kind of atmosphere. You can hear there are lots of different kind of sources of music that are being played from all around. You can see that in the as you walk in, there are stalls all around you. It is a deceptively large tent. Just because, I mean, from the outside it looks pretty big, but as you step into it, it seems almost even bigger. You see the very far end.
Would you say it's a marquee?
Yes. At the very far end, directly in front of the entrance, is a kind of a wooden structure that extends into the ceiling that Oro will know as the main stage. It is sort of like blocked off to a certain degree because of some of the mechanics that go into the stage are self-contained, and they've got quite a cool system going on. But because of that, it needs a bit more. There need to be very strict borders for it. So you can see that there's a stage over there. You can see that on the wooden structure there are plenty of like posters that are blown up with, like, you know, all the acts and stuff. And you can see one in particular that looks like you can see it just says Hilda the Mystic. And you can see that there is a older human lady who is wearing kind of very stereotypical like a headdress and like a big robe and stuff, and she has a crystal ball in front of her, and it's all like beautiful imagery of smoke and crystals and just like magic and so mysterious. And you'll probably recognize the name as the matriarch of the person whose birthday it is, because underneath it says celebrating the anniversary of sorry, it says celebrating the life of Hilda the Mystic. And there are plenty of other posters dotted around. There are lots of banners and streamers and everything. And as you're walking around, there are lots of the patrons, but there are also plenty of circus folk who are walking around just being wacky and impressive and stuff. Like, there are a couple of people who are walking around on stilts. You can see as you walk through the main entrance that there are lots of acts who have found a place to claim as their own, rope themselves off, put down like a coin purse or whatever, and then start doing their act. You can see that someone is swallowing swords. You can see that somebody is kind of spitting fire and stuff like that. And as you're kind of walking around, Oro sees another couple of people that she recognizes from her own circus. One of whom is Kenneth, who she might refer to as Ken, because she knows him very well. She knows that he has no surname. His name is just Kenneth. That's just it. He doesn't even like introduce himself as such. He just kind of walks up and stands right next to Oro. All right.
You alright, Ken? How's it going?
Shit.
Why?
It's always shit in it.
Why is it shit? What's wrong?
It's always shit. How are you?
It's fine. Why do you mean it's always shit? It's fine.
It's fucking shit in it.
You're jolly today. Is he always this?
Yeah, 100% of the time.
Okay.
You've never met him in a way it's even remotely positive.
Okay.
So, what are you doing?
Performing, innit? Tomorrow. What I'm here.
All right.
You performing?
Why?
What are you doing? What are you gonna do?
I do. You know that he's a stagehand.
Okay.
So he just does stuff. Like, for the most part, he just helps behind the scenes. He doesn't have his own thing.
Mm.
He's walked up next to you. He's not looking at you.
Mm.
He's facing the exact same direction as you.
Mm.
stood next to you,
Hmm.
and he's just like wearing plain brown everything from top to bottom. Like he's just like, all right, bye, and just walks off.
Good to see you, Ken. Good to see you.
Before he leaves, I just want to be like, is something the matter?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
Everything.
That actually wasn't loud when you did that. It was almost quieter.
Everything.
That's it. It's not. I think that's also quite.
Everything.
I don't.
Remember, kids, hating on everything isn't a personality.
It's a way of life. No. No.
I just kind of look at Oro like,
It's okay. He's always like that. He's a joy to be around. Joy to be around.
He certainly seems it.
Yeah, I don't know. He's always been that way. You love it for him, you know.
You can see that there are a couple other people who are, like I said, mostly there's a unicyclist, there's a plate spinner, and you can see in the distance now as you pass that there's you can see kind of through the crowd on one of the kind of there's a bunch of like scaffolding to the tent that goes up into the like the top of the tent that's above the entirety of the kind of circus floor. You can kind of see Francois passing through it. He seems to be kind of interacting with some of the bunting and stuff, just fixing it up, and kind of waves down as he sees you. So the main tent that you have here is the tent for your circus, and you know that there is another for each of the others. There's one for her Brownings and there's one for the Circus of Wonders. Pardon me. Do you want to explore those as well, or are you sticking to your own?
I mean,
There are tons of stalls filled with merchandise.
I'm looking out for some merchandise for this circus. The one we're currently
This circus, okay.
the circus one that I forgot the name of, even though I wrote it down. Columba.
oh, I was muted.
Like
It was
Columba.
Columba. I knew it. I took notes.
So there are a couple different stalls, and it seems that they have each different items. You can see that there are items for Hilda, the mystic,
Not interested.
Francois, the last proliferator,
Not interested.
Popo the dexterous.
No.
Sylvania is on there, your auntie.
No.
You can see that there is one for the amazing Ariandia for acrobatics. Salvor the Incredible has some gear as well. And you also have, obviously, Oro and Vince have their own. their own merchandise. Okay. Can we have some suggestions in the chat as to what the merchandise might be?
I was gonna look out for maybe some like little bookmark with the circus logo, maybe in the circus colors.
Yeah, you can definitely get that. 100%.
Anything like
Easy
that,
peasy. Yeah.
A bookmark.
100%.
That's
A
so
bookmark.
perfect.
I do want to know what the merchandise is though. So come up with suggestions if you got any. Yes, no, you can easily find one of those. You can find one for 1 silver.
I've got good vibes about
person
this
in
one.
the shape of the snake.
Say good vibes about that one.
I got good vibes. This is a Gucci bookmark.
Oh.
And then as Randall like pays and then walks away, it's like, see you later, fuckos. And then it's like super proud of himself, like, yeah.
all the people who are like clearly not part of the circus are very confused about what they've just and the person behind the till kind of feels like maybe they've cheated you out of some money a little bit, because like maybe they over like, clearly you're a circus member, like maybe they shouldn't have charged you the full 1 silver. They should give you like a discount or something. It's too late. You're gone now. Is that
Randall
the only
starts
thing you want to
walking, and
purchase?
that song starts playing in the background. That's like do 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 do. Can tell by the way I walk my
Oh.
feet.
I'm a circus man.
No time to
Exactly.
talk.
Is there any
I
other
don't-
merchandise you want to pick up?
I don't need any other merchandise. I have the perfect piece of merchandise.
Okay. All right. Does Nerdy have any merchandise needs?
Oh man, I don't think I have any like merchandise needs, but if I saw something cool, I might want it. Do they have any? So there are obviously people there that do like magic-y things. Do they have like magic wands?
Oh yeah, no. So Francois, the last proliferator,
Yeah.
his stall is filled with wands. There's tons of them. So I mean, when you go over to them, you can see that they're all, for the most part, quite low quality wood that has kind of like been painted essentially. But there's like, so there are like the lower tier replicas, which are the low quality wood ones, and there are like the higher tier replicas, which look a lot more closer to the way his actual wand looks. It kind of looks like a circus top in itself, because it's kind of like got the same colors as they wrap around down the shaft. I don't know, shaft is the word that you would use to describe a wand, but
Yeah.
It's the
too
shank.
late now.
Too late.
Wand.
The shank of a wand. Fake swords that cast minor illusions of injuries. Oh, I love that. Branded twisty straws. I like that a lot as well. Bendy gummy person in the shape of a snake. That's definitely a thing. Oro ale cup things. I mean, that's got to be a thing. 100%.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and when two swords hit
It's
each
got,
other, they
like-
send out blasts of tiny fireworks.
That's excellent. That's so
The cups
good.
have little like goblin ears on them.
Y57.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. You can get little headbands that have goblin ears on.
Oh.
Yes! Oh my god, yes. And you get, like there's like a little bandolier of like loads of little daggers, but like
Oh.
it's like for kids. So
Yeah.
it's like so it's like they're all like paper. Or whatever. It's all like made out of pretty cheap material. There's not actual daggers, but it's just like you can put it on and pretend that you're Oro.
That's so cute.
I like the sword idea as well. I think that's an excellent idea. So yeah, there are some definite fake. Well, there are some merchandise ones. The lower brand ones don't do anything, but the higher tier ones will cast kind of like cantrips, basically. Like you get
Ooh.
prestidigitation on one of the ones.
Well, I've got that already. What kind of
That's hell of a
cantrips do
one.
they have?
Well, and we're talking like absolute basic cantrips.
Toll the
like,
undead.
we're talking about just like obvious illusionary things,
Like minor illusion?
like minor illusion. Yeah,
I don't have that cantrip. Is there a minor
So-
illusion wand?
there is a minor illusion wand. Yes,
How much is it?
it is 30 gold pieces.
Do I have 30 gold pieces? Let me go look.
Who mans that stand? Can I try and be like, hey?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. If you wanna try and
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah,
if
like when Randall's buying stuff, I obviously get distracted and I'm like going over and like looking at it.
yeah, if I see Nerly like trying to rummage in like a purse to count coins, I'm like, go over there. Like, what are you looking at? Nerly? What are you looking at?
Look, there's a wand here, and it's a functional one, and it's also kind of cool, and it's like Francois.
Wow, I wonder. I look at the whoever's selling it. I wonder if we could get that for a special price, eh? Eh? Wink.
Eh?
Eh? Eh? Maybe.
So behind the till, I guess.
Stall.
Behind the stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Stall stand.
Khalid. His name is Khalid Jasper, and he is somebody that you recognize from working with the circus. Like it's not someone new. Dungeon Mapster.
Oh,
God
Dan, you
damn
traitor.
This
You.
is not acceptable.
Yes. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. So you recognize it's somebody that you know. What is your... Okay, so you aren't the biggest fan of Khalid.
Mm.
you think he's a bit of an arsehole. So he actually has an act, but it's part of the main show. So during this, he will decostume. On the Friday, he will decostume, and then he'll just kind of like work stalls and stuff. But he hates it. So he thinks that he is the bee's fucking knees. He's a sword swallower. But rather than just kind of like just doing it on the side for a bit of cash at the door, like some people were, he has a full act around it. He's very dramatic, very over the top. He thinks he's the best act that the circus has. And because of that, he's a bit of a prick.
Great.
He thinks that he's better than all of the other acts, and it really bugs him how much attention you get.
Great.
Not only that, he obviously thinks he's far too good to be selling merchandise.
Great.
So you're not super confident that you'll be able to whittle him down, but you recognize who it is, and that you have. I mean, there's definitely you could try. Of all the people, like, I mean, you're in a mixed position because he doesn't like you very much. You don't like him very much, but you work for the circus.
True. So when I go to say this, I look up at him and realize it's him and go, oh. It's you.
Oh! Odo.
Alright, how you doing?
Great.
Keeping up well?
You?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Yeah.
Business is booming, obviously.
Good, good. I'm glad.
Why are you back?
I was asked to come back for the main event.
You can see that pisses him off so much.
Price goes up 35 GP.
Excellent. Glad to have you back.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
How can I help you?
They're just looking at getting this wand.
Oh! Really? 30 gold pieces?
Is that the best you can do?
Yes.
Is it?
Roll persuasion.
Yes, it looks like Francois' wand. He is the one who came to talk to us, and he very bravely fought. Like, I'm just like randomly talking about stuff about how I think Francois is cool.
Is that what we got?
I think it did roll, didn't it? I just didn't notice it.
Oh, yes, no,
there
it's
is a persuasion roll. Yeah.
It's
in there.
Oh, it's in there.
Oh, it's there.
I was just like, do we have a D6 for Jenny? I'm not sure if we have a D6 for Jenny.
No.
There is a D6 in the reserves.
Someone could buy it right now.
Someone could get it right now.
Dramatically.
I mean, I could, but I feel like that would be a bit self-serving.
Yes, no, he does not seem moved by your persuasion. He seems to be quite he doesn't seem to he doesn't want to budge.
Do I know that all of this is like it's not an individual's selling thing, it's the circus selling thing.
Yeah, he doesn't make this merchandise and he's not making money from it. It's his job to do this today. Yeah. Like, he's not the manager. Like, it's like this isn't his merchandise. He doesn't own any of this. He's just working it.
Okay.
So you know for sure that this isn't a him thing. He's just being a prick.
Okay.
Like, he's not the person who gets to decide who gets discounts and stuff, you know.
Okay, well, or just go
Carl.
for the next one. It's enough of this one. Okay. It's okay, I have an idea. So if that doesn't work,
thank you, Carl.
Yeah, there you go. I'll just go. All right. Well, I'll leave it for now. I'll go talk to Hilda and then see if she says anything about it.
Yeah, well, she's very busy, so
I'm sure she'll have time for me. So wait about it. I'm sure she'll have time.
She's. I wouldn't interrupt her if I was you.
Don't think she'll mind.
Okay, so do you wanna step aside from here, or
Yeah.
or was that an attempt to just be like, I'm gonna go talk to Hilda, give me a discount?
I mean, if he goes to say anything, then I'll wait for it. I won't just leave immediately. But
Okay, no, it does not look like he's gonna budge.
okay.
You're very confident that if you talk to Hilda, you could get this probably for free.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just leave. We'll go.
Alright.
We'll get you one. We'll get you one early. Just not.
Oh, okay.
Just not right now. We'll get you one before we leave.
When someone else is working the till. We'll come back when the nice cashier is here. The one that knows my order.
Like the good barista
Yeah.
who always recognizes that you said an extra shot, not 2 extra shots, because you want to sleep someday.
Someday.
So you've explored the merchandise stalls. Is there anything else that anyone wants to pick up?
I think I'm just kind of like slightly mouth agape, taking everything in, like, whoa.
So you can see from where you are just enough. Like you've kind of walked into the tent proper now, and you're kind of in the middle of a concourse. You can see that to your left you have the scroll up Circus of Wonders, and to your right you have Herb Browning's Humble Circus. Because you can see that the tents have been aligned in a way that the main concourse kind of runs all the way between all 3 of them, in an attempt to like not really, separate them too much. You can see that there are other things that you can do in each of the different tents if you'd like to explore them.
Are there circus games?
Yes, there are.
I would like to
circus
play
games.
circus games.
Okay, so there. I mean, which of the 2 tents would you like to start with?
I'd like to start with Bio Break.
Oh,
And
yes,
then
okay,
I'd
absolutely.
like to try the
Let's do
Humble
that.
Circus.
Let's do Bio Break. Okay, you guys.
Typing bio into my notes. No.
Oh no!
Shit.
If you guys are unfamiliar with our bio breaks, they take all of like, I don't know, fucking couple minutes. We don't fuck around with
I
long
don't
enough
even
breaks.
substream for it, but
Yeah.
I do this.
She do
So
that.
bio break. back in
Bio
the
break.
mode.
I need to turn my humidifier on, so I'm gonna just put my camera down for a second and put my humidifier on. Go stretch, everyone. Go stretch. Go do things. But come back.
Hello. Shall I close the D6 redemptions and mark the ones used as done? Or maybe. We don't stop the stream, but we do usually get into shenanigans. Yeah, we tend to for bio breaks, we step aside, come back, and then get distracted for 20 minutes. Why is Ginny crying? What? Wicked fast pisser. I mean, what can I say? I've got skills, and I know I can. That's my skill. I'm all alone. There's no one here on stream. hello. Hi, Dreadful Wanderer. How's it going? We're on bio break. But I'm a wizard apparently. Skills bottle under desk. oh me, oh my. Oh me, oh my. Yeah, don't fear. They are on a very short break, and then we will return to your scheduled program of D&D. Hey Tika, my little chicken. How's it going? Tom continued RPing during the bio break. He treated it as a carnival game. It's about, speed, precision. Tom, your hair long. Stop it! Tom Bracer. Tika, that's really offensive. People refer to people as having a smooth brain as like saying that they're dumb. Hello. Welcome back.
Hello, thank you. The whole time that conversation was going on, I was like, God, I wish you were a bard right now, because I would have just quietly been humming the Prima Donna song from Phantom of the Opera. Prima Donna, first lady of the stage. Like, we've totally just been like, hilarious.
I get that.
To me, probably only, but
I'm neither Tika nor a Masala. Yeah, I think Tika's had enough Tika Masala jokes in her lifetime. Fine, your brain is wrinkly. Thank you. Jesus. You're not in here saying that my brain is smooth. The other day.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
I don't think she knows how offensive it is.
Yeah, it's like that's like the sort of thing that one of those people who mistakes being like mean for having a personality says to people to make fun of them when they say something not really that dumb, but kind of like they just didn't know or whatever, like lighthearted ignorance.
It's because we were talking about brains the other day. My Instagram story has been filled with brain stuff recently. I thought smooth brains were what cool kids had, bro. It's because I've been talking. So my Instagram story has been filled with brain analysis stuff recently, and Tika and I have been discussing brains. But the other day, she was saying how I was like, brains are so pretty, and she was like, they look like what the fuck are those cats? They're like the bold
hairless cats.
Yeah. She was like, they look like those, and I'm like, no, they're gross. Like, they look the same. I was like, no, but brains are pretty, and the cats are gross. And she's like, brains aren't pretty.
I wouldn't have compared them to the bald cats. I would have compared them to like wrinkly balls. Like, honestly,
that's what she said.
Yes, yeah.
She said they look like balls.
Yeah.
And then the next day, so I've got a problem with my brain analysis script at the moment, where the brain images will load in flipped, so they'll be upside down for some reason, and the function won't fucking fix. No matter what I do, it's broken. And I was like, yeah, I don't know why they're upside down. And she says they look like they look like a balls. This is just a head upside down. I'm like, Tika, what is your obsession?
You sure there isn't actually the right way around, and that's why you can't fix it, and there is balls?
Maybe.
The whole time.
Imagine if actually inside your balls you just had a brain.
Yeah, the blood ball barrier.
Ball barrier.
Balls are fun. Tika!
That sounds like a shop.
Shop.
It's the one where the kinkus get their outfits.
Footballs, tennis balls. Oh my god, Tika!
Hey, Web.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god. I love you, Tika. Control yourself, woman. Okay. Everyone had a good bio break?
Yeah, I got chocolate now.
Fantastic.
Yeah. My stomach was hurting earlier, and I drank a lot of water, and I was like, I'm not gonna make it another hour, guys. We gotta go. I feel great now.
Don't push yourself. Okay. Have you seen the picture of the bold Furby? That sounds like the stuff of nightmares.
Oh yeah, no, let's not.
It's,
Humble Circus. I want to go look at the Humble Circus.
Humble Circus. Okay. Of
Let's talk
her
to
Browning.
everyone.
What'd you say?
Let's talk to everyone.
Okay.
So they do lots of accents.
Make the DM speak a lot in a German accent. Okay. Anyway. Oh God.
Oh, I forgot that was a German one. I thought it was called Humble. I want to know why they're the Humble Circus and everybody else is magnificent and great and whatever.
They're just a humble people. These people who are.
Well, I don't know that yet. That's why I'm going over
circus. All fun and games, and I get where you're going with that fool, and I don't want to don't want to continue that train of thought. He's like tennis balls, footballs. It's all fun and games until you like kick the other type of ball. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I didn't follow that one for some reason.
Oh, maybe I'm extrapolating. Maybe that's not actually where
For
fool
me.
was going. Was that what you're going for? If I just attributed a different joke, I apologize if that's the case. Anyway, so you've got the in her Browning's Humble Circus. There is much the same, but obviously their merchandise is specific to their particular acts. There are a couple of activities and other stalls that you see that are selling items that aren't necessarily just merchandise. There is one person in particular who appears to be selling a love potion, which is one thing that catches your eye. There are other potions nearby that also seem to be selling for different things. You see that there is a love potion, but there's also a rage potion, a levitation potion, and a green potion.
Green.
Just called green.
Yep.
That sounds less.
It's called Nature's Visage. But you
It's
can
called
see that
what?
it's Nature's Visage. But you can see that it is all just. I think people know where I was going without spelling it out. I don't think they did.
I'm afraid.
It took Tom spelling it out for me to know exactly. I just assumed that there was going to be like a follow-up to that. I was waiting for the yeah.
But anyway, so this tent in particular seems to have lots of different potions for sales, lots of other smaller acts that are around, lots of jugglers. But you also see that they are there is a sharpshooting trial here.
Is it specifically like bows or?
Yeah.
There are slingshots. They give you slingshots.
Should we have a go?
Can give it a shot.
Let's do
Katie's couldn't help yourself. Okay. Right. Well, you waltz up to the sharpshooting trial, and you can see that there are essentially a bunch of moving targets.
Ducks.
Bunch of moving targets, and they give you a slingshot, and there are some kind of balls that you use as ammunition, and you can see that there are a bunch of different rewards. And maybe we do an accent for the person who's talking and selling this. Do we do it?
Let's do it.
Do it.
Hello.
I think I might need a trigger German sentence.
German sentence. German sentence. Someone quick.
I'm sorry, Snorts.
Quick.
I'm really sorry, Snorts. Okay, so anyway, there is a
Wunderbar.
gentleman.
Did you say wunderbar, Lucas?
Wunderbar. Why have I done this to myself?
Just quick change the whole thing. Make him Scottish, quick.
Yeah, they're all Scottish. I do too many Scottish people. It's like
Nah.
there's a bit I saw a little while ago where it was like, oh, Fobbington's German. Is Fobbington German?
Yes.
I'm gonna say yes based on.
I feel like Fobbington's German. Hi, Fobbs, by the way. It's nice to see you. In which case I'm offending multiple people. The other day that was about doing accents, and it's like As long as you're doing white people accents, you're okay. So I'm sorry, Germans, you're fair game. Oh my god, why can't I not remember what German people sound like? I'm gonna open a YouTube video.
Yeah, I was gonna try and think of someone, but
offend me, I dare you. Okay, wait, let's go.
A challenge.
No, I don't have to.
So
do
as we're
this.
walking over there,
I'm doing this to myself, but I want to do it now.
To give Tom time to research while we're walking over there, I'm going
Sexiest German accent / dialect. I want to know that one. Oh my god!
All the circus performers are gonna have the sexiest.
They're really humble but really sexy.
I think we've got a theme going at this point. I was going to ask Oro, like, so are there like tricks to the games, or like is there something that is more important to like hit? There's lots of stuff over there to shoot at.
Well, I mean, it changed.
Sorry, guys. I was just gonna say I was watching the video, so I don't know if you're talking to me or someone else. But
No. I said to give Tom time to research while we're walking over. I say.
I mean, it changes for.
Why am I interrupting you so much? I'm sorry.
I mean, it depends what type of game you play. You know, I think this one we've got to shoot a thing that goes past.
But there's lots of things.
Yeah, some of them might be more points. Like further back, one might be more points, say, or something like that. We can ask this dude. That's.
Me, I'm just your average sexy humble carnival barker.
We'll ask this average sexy humble carnival barker.
Well, now he's got to be sexy canonically. I want to know if that's what you're laughing at, or if you saw a video. Okay.
A car gets inspiration because that fucking tickled the shit out of me.
Oh yay!
Sexy homo car. Well, that kind of does lead into the like stereotypical camp German accent now, doesn't it? Like the whole. Oh my god!
It's almost permission.
Yeah.
It's almost. I can't remember what German accents sound like anymore. God damn it! I've put too much pressure on myself.
If it makes you feel any better, I don't really know even what a German accent sounds like, unless it's like the over-exaggerated Hollywood one.
That's exactly right. That's the only one I can do. And that's why it's offensive, because German people are like, we don't sound like that.
It's okay, you're being a sexy humble one. It's fine. Just say what Snort said, you'll get it.
Maybe they've worked really hard to like to mask their accent, so it's super light and almost imperceptible. Yes,
he sounds like this. So you rock up to this store and he says, "Welcome! You want to take part?"
Yes. How does it work?
So we will give you the slingshot and you will shoot at these targets. If you get to the right number of points, we will give you a reward.
What's the reward?
Okay.
So the reward is either we get lots of money. Oh, it is lots of money. Costs money to take part. Or these fancy arrows. And he points over at this case that has clearly never been opened. Like it looks like nobody has ever won this, and they've not had to restock in a while. But the arrows themselves, you can see that they are made of like kind of an olive colored wood that have like silver gilding throughout, like on a pattern that goes up the shaft. The fletching is opalescent, and the head of the arrow in particular looks like it is what's the word?
Pointy.
Serrated, I was going to say. So that, removal is extremely damaging sort of situation.
Okay. Ooh, pretty. I want them.
Those are really pretty.
There it is. I'm sorry, okay? Listen, if you start DMing, you run out of accents to do, and you gotta go into territory that you're not necessarily 100% comfortable with or very good at.
And again, there's
I
nothing.
can do Irish and Scottish, right? I did a little bit of Australian there, right?
Mm.
There's,
That was
there's
a good one. I recognize it as Australian. And again, no accent on this channel will ever be worse than my French accent. So like, that is the lowest
You
bar.
say it like you had a really like offensive French accent. It just didn't sound like you were doing an accent. That was
I
French.
know. It not only did it not sound French, and I spent like hours watching videos of French people speaking in English to try to emulate it. Like I literally could not do it, and it ended up sounding German apparently, which I don't even know how to do. So yeah. So anyway.
Snort said it was a pretty good German accent.
What, Katie's one?
Yeah, which one?
We give Tom another D6 for pushing through the fear and doing the accent. You're all my
yeah.
friends. I don't care about making a fool of myself. We're fun. No accent will be as bad as mine. Hey, Moose, how's it going, buddy?
Competition.
Okay. So he says, there is a prize. You give me 1 silver per play. Is it 1 silver? I can't remember what I said.
Steep
Yes.
prices. Whoa.
No. It is 1 silver per play, and you have 6 shots. If you land all of these shots, you get these arrows.
Sounds fun. Those arrows
If
are
you
pretty-
land 4 of these shots, you will get 10 gold pieces.
Ooh.
If you land anything under that, you will be getting nothing.
Reasonable.
Nothing for you.
Nothing.
Can we pretend that Oro brought some kind of like popcorn or something while she was in her section? Can we also pretend the popcorn looks like goblins? Just for fun.
Yes, 100%. Oh my god, that's excellent.
It's got
I
like a
love
green
that.
dust on it, so it
Yeah.
looks like little goblin heads.
So good. I love that a lot.
Smooching on popcorn or something. Hey Tess.
Magic gobbo popcorn.
Hi, Tess. I'm sorry to your mum for doing this horrible German accent. I've got something in my eye. Ooh. So,
Give him a silver.
okay, give him silver. Right, you are given a slingshot. Here you go. Shoot the targets. So in front of you, there are 6 targets. They're all stationary apart from the first one. The one that's closest to you is the one that's moving, and it's moving very slowly side
Okay.
to side. So I'm going to ask you to make a ranged attack with just your dexterity modifier,
Okay.
unless you're proficient in a ranged weapon. I mean, let's not go with. I mean,
I don't think that I would be. Let me. Daggers, darts. I'm proficient in slings.
no, I don't think that's. I'm not sure
It's a
that's
bit
close enough.
different.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, that's fair. All right, so
Wait,
it's
what?
just a
the
dex
difference
check
between
then.
a slingshot and a slingshot? What?
A sling like
sling
David and
and a
Goliath sling, where you have like the cords and then the thing, and you have to spin it and you
Oh,
let go of the
yeah.
one side, and that's
Oh,
way
this is
different
like
than
a-
just like.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
this is a slingshot, like a Bart Simpson
Or Animal Crossing slingshot.
or Animal Crossing.
Do I get the impression that they would be upset if I cast guidance on myself?
Yes.
Are there any like no cheating signs? Okay. All right. I
Wouldn't
just
already
make a
know
dex
that.
check then. Well, that's why I was asked if there's
I
like
mean-
signs.
Oro would absolutely 100% know that any underhanded cheating tactics are extremely frowned upon. She does also know, however, that in some circuses, other than hers, the Circus of Columba does not participate in such things. People will rig like games and stuff. That's not necessarily to say that this is rigged. It's just she knows that it's a thing. So though they say obviously they don't want people playing it to be cheating, that's not to say that they won't.
Okay. First one is a 10. Just going for the easy one.
Okay, so the first one. So you're supposed to take it in turns as you go up.
Mm-hmm.
It's moving slowly to the side. Dunk. You successfully managed to clang into the first moving target. And it goes, "Wong," and it retreats down to the ground. And then the second one starts moving slightly faster than this one.
I see.
Very good, very good. Yeah, try again.
Oof.
Unfortunately, it lands in the ground right next to it. It continues to move.
Oh well, no fancy arrows, I guess.
You have a bunch of shots. Here we go.
A bunch of shots.
I got distracted by the thing in chat. This time, you manage to successfully hit the marker as it starts to slide side to side, and it retreats away.
Whew. Oh.
It's getting faster and faster. You're getting really proficient with this. You're finding yourself more and more like able to kind of predict these shots.
Okay.
And you successfully managed to hit the third.
So all I need is one more and I get gold, right?
This one's moving considerably faster.
Oof, miss on the first go.
Unfortunate miss.
All right, and I have one more shot, right? Because it's 6.
Yes, you do.
I'm gonna still look at it. I'm trying to like gauge the speed or whatever, and then I'll shoot.
Unfortunately, it is a swing and a miss, and it lands in the dirt. Oh, you tried very hard. You got very close to almost maybe getting some money, perhaps, but no. Unfortunately, there is no money for you. Thank you for taking part. Do you want to try again?
No, it's fun. Thank you.
How about any of the other people here? Would you like to take part?
Randall, do you want to go?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Put up your monies.
Okay. And my silver piece. Yes.
A sling and a miss.
Nice.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
There is a general no cheating in life sign.
But would guidance be cheating? Like, is that cheating? Because that's just drawing upon your skills, right? How's that any difference than like
Guidance is a spell for you.
No, it's not. It's a cantrip.
That's a type of spell.
Mm-hmm.
Level 0 spell.
Level 0. Anyone could learn it. Just saying.
Right. Randall rocks up.
Boink.
Immediately. The piece of rock that you throw at it ricochets off, goes into the crowd behind you. Oh!
Oops. Okay. A little bit. Too much power. Okay.
Easily tagging the first, and unfortunately, second.
Can I use my 1d6 thing?
Yes, you can. You hit. This one is a you kind of quadong.
This is the sexy part of the circus. So.
Quadong. It clangs off of the edge of the target, but it does hit the target.
So that counted, right?
It counted, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god! Again, you hit the target, and you're making it look too easy. Honestly, it ricochets again off into the crowd. You're now onto your 4th target.
If it comes back at me, I want to catch it.
No.
You do it easily. I mean, this is like
can I then use my deflect missiles to immediately throw it the next time? Is that considered cheating?
You can, but it's hard to tell whether or not that's going to be considered cheating. If it's gonna, I think you're fairly confident that it's not something you should do.
All right.
It might disqualify you, but there are no signs that say no throwing. It's just kind of I guess. Okay. Unfortunately, you miss the 4th target.
Good damn. Okay.
You still got some left.
No, lost it.
Another miss.
Lost it.
Miss. We've missed. We've missed too many times.
Shit.
So close.
So close.
So close.
Damn it, so close.
You've got one more shot. Maybe
You've got
you
one
can still
left.
get money.
You've got one left.
Oh.
Womp womp womp.
We both rolled
Unfortunately,
12s on the
miss.
last one. Boo.
Ah,
It's an unfortunate miss.
just needed to reorder my rolls and it would have been fine.
Just reorder them, forehead. Jeez.
And that is that's a miss. Oh, you got so close to maybe winning some almost money, but no, no money for you.
Almost money.
Sorry.
Can I have a go?
Yes, you can. They don't know that you work for the circus. if you tried to take part in your own circuses
Games.
it would be a big no. But they don't know you, so
Yeah, I want to win a cool thing. Hell
you
yeah.
look familiar.
Oh. Eating my goblin popcorn. Interesting.
In the background is a huge poster of you. And
I don't know why.
Weird.
Just have one of those
Take us
faces,
in
I
the
guess.
beach.
Yeah. Just one of those goblin faces. Yeah. Same thing. 19.
Oh my god. An easy wapow. Are you I mean you're good with bows, right? Do you have like are you good? Wait, let's have a look.
I feel like slingshots would be
feel like
similar to bows.
I'm pretty sure you should get your proficiency bonus on top of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a simple weapon.
Because slings are different mechanic, but slingshots are exactly the same
Yeah.
as a bow.
Okay, my proficiency bonus is a 3.
Yep.
well.
So you get +5 on your rolls.
I think you can just
So
hit like normal
that's
short bow stuff.
Yeah, you can just roll your normal.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
But I assume ranges have proficiency in like martial range weapons as well. You just can't use longbows because you're short.
Yeah, it says I have martial weapons and simple weapons as a proficiency.
So the difference is like simple weapons like short bows count as a simple weapon, but when I'm asking for proficiency in range weapons, I'm talking about martial range weapons. I should have made that a lot clearer. Doc had a good point when he asked, "Is it not just a simple weapon?" Okay, so you hit 2 in a row.
Sick.
Easy.
Ooh.
3 in a row.
Oh.
Ding ding ding.
4 in a row.
Ding ding ding.
Ah!
Oh my goodness! And you're doing it. You're just like rapid firing. Oh my gosh! What is this? You are getting so good. You have got. Oh my god! Is that? Oh my god! You hit almost every single one of the shots. You managed to land 5 out of 6.
If I don't hit that, can I use my look point?
Yes.
Or could I?
Didn't
Wait, I
someone
have a
else
plus
give you
D6.
inspiration?
I have a plus
Yeah.
D6.
You
I
have
should
a
do
plus
that.
D6?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 3d6. All you need is a 3. Oh!
Can I use my look to change it?
Yes, you can use your luck.
21. Thank God.
Circus hacks.
Jesus.
Slapping furiously in the background.
Oh my god! What the fuck? Oh, Jesus, this is amazing! Oh, I mean, shit.
What a differ.
So you like the last one. I love the idea of just being like, okay, you like rapid fire, and the last one, it like almost hits the target, but like bounces off the wall, hits another wall, ricochets, and hits the back of the target, so it falls down. I like the idea that so many different factors of luck hit into it, but still hits it.
True.
And it still falls down. And like as you do so, there are a bunch of like silly string like explodes out of the stall, and it goes everywhere. But as you look at it, there's like dust in it, and like they barely work. Like it looks like they were set up for this to eventually happen, but so long ago, and it hasn't happened since they set it up. So long ago that they just never cleaned it because they were just like, what's the fucking point? No one ever wins this. And it's just like it's like the saddest because all this stuff just comes out. Yeah, just like I was gonna say like spider webs, but that would be like a fucking nightmare. I'm just like spiders. It's not spider.
Roll for initiative.
They're mutated.
Dust and like silly string, and it's really sad. And you go, but yeah, at this point, like you've got a crowd, and they're like, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" And And you like, I mean, he makes quite a big deal out of unlocking. First has to find the key and like unlocking the cabinet that's got the arrows and opening it and finding the arrows and bringing them out and giving them to you. And it's just like, well, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to close this door.
Ruined it for everybody.
And you realize that this is now drawing quite a lot of attention. And you've got a pretty solid understanding that you probably shouldn't be playing the game as a circus member. Probably shouldn't be doing it.
Oh, wait, if I would have thought that beforehand, though, I wouldn't have done it.
Oh, really?
You can't tell me now that I shouldn't have done it.
Okay, sorry.
It's a different circus.
Yeah, it's different
It
circus.
doesn't magically
It
make
is a
you
different
better at
circus.
shooting arrows.
They don't have a sign that says, also don't be a circus member.
True,
I think
but
that's one of those like unwritten rules because
Yeah.
you all have like odd talents like that.
But
so
it's
you could
okay.
always.
but it's okay. I didn't make that clear to Oro, and I wouldn't want Oro to have accidentally done something out of character. So
Yeah, I wouldn't have done it if it
we'll
would
let
have
slide.
said that.
So you don't know for sure that you shouldn't, but you're a bit like, okay, this is maybe I shouldn't. It's like Oro doesn't think that it's against the rules.
Mm.
But because she's been brought up in the circus, and a lot of the circus culture is about maintaining the illusion for the patrons.
Mm.
Part of the illusion is that the common peasants, whatever, can win these prizes.
Mm.
So you kind of like don't want to necessarily be like, oh, you can win this prize, but the person who won it is also on the main stage tomorrow at 3. Like, you know what I mean? So it only just dawns on you that maybe you don't want to draw too much attention to it. Not that you shouldn't do it because it's against the rules.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that case, then I'd be like, Nerly, congratulations! Well done! You did a really good job! Yeah, sick! Let's go now! Should we go? Let's go! I pick up my popcorn and...
It's now full of confetti.
full of dust.
I'm just like holding them and confused.
Let's go!
Okay.
Let's
You
go!
managed to slink away without too much trouble, and you managed to get away from the surrounding crowd.
I make a point of, as we're walking away, holding like my hair up to the fletching on the arrows and looking at it because it looks similar.
Mhm.
And hopefully that distracts people.
I mean, people have been turning their heads at you for a while now, but you're kind of like a bit
Like,
too
look, it
naive to-
matches.
Yeah, you're a bit too naive to really clock onto it. So congratulations. You've got some
Nerly,
pretty fucking
congratulations.
bitchin' arrows now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when we get a little bit further away, I'm like, why did you give these to me?
Because I didn't want to draw attention that it was me that won them.
Oh, is that?
Well, I didn't think about it until I won it, but it's probably not a great idea that I did it. It's a shame I didn't think of that beforehand.
Sorry.
But this is the world we're in now, so.
It's happening. Hey, we can retcon it and say that you didn't win, but it was really cool. So I mean,
Yeah, it was really cool. I was almost going to say she would just pretend it didn't happen, but it's
no,
too late, it happened.
Like I said, it's not against the rules. It was more of a.
It's just
Oro
morally
thought-
bankrupt.
It's probably a bit shit, but we'll pretend that it was Nerly that won.
It's not a moral or ethical problem as such. It's more of a, I guess it would be nice if these guys, didn't put 2 and 2 together. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just that kind of thing.
No bad blood between circuses.
Mm.
Yeah.
Why would it be bad for you to win it though? You're really good at stuff like that.
Well, because if someone else saw that I was doing it, it'd be like, oh, just circus members are going around winning other prizes. Don't give any to other people. The people who basically do it as their job just win it,
Oh,
even though there was no rule against it. It might be like, oh, that's a bit unfair,
Oh, so it's bad for business.
Yeah.
Should we go give them back?
I mean, I don't want to give them back. They're really cool.
What if we just give them some of them back and say like because if you're worried about them finding out it was you, and I like point at one of the big posters, I'm like,
Well, I mean, I feel like it was obvious it was me. I'm the only goblin here. You can't look at me and be like, who is she?
Who?
I'm a goblin.
Who-
I was eating goblin popcorn at the time.
But he said he thought you were familiar and he didn't know. So
Well,
we
I
don't
didn't
have to
tell
go
him that I
back.
wasn't a circus member. I said,
That's
oh,
true.
really? Whilst I was eating the goblin popcorn. If anything, it's his fault for letting me do it.
From a
And
popcorn
to be
thing with your
fair,
face on it.
Yeah,
You
tiny little.
left. You're just back for like a special performance. So really, these skills are things that you learned not while, or not learned, but honed away from the circus.
Yeah. And also, these arrows would be really cool whilst we're adventuring.
Oh, that's a
some
good
some
point.
other
I'm gonna,
rando
like-
has it. What the fuck are they gonna do? Just keep it in a box for another 20 million years?
I'm gonna like in a box for the 20 million. I'll go ahead and I'll like awkwardly put the quiver thing on because I'm assuming they came in a quiver, right? Or they're just arrows. Okay. Since we're keeping this illusion now, but I'm gonna take one out and like just kind of chill with it. While
I'd like to
we're walking
identify
around.
this, please.
Yes, please. Short rest
so,
style.
so one thing I'll acknowledge that you perceived whilst you were doing it, for Oro, this is that so you hit a 21 for hitting that last one. For the average person, 20 is not really in their realm of possibility. A lot of luck came, your skill as well, but also your luck came into the fact that you managed to hit 6 shots in a row. So to you, not only is it, well won, but also like hitting 4 shots out of 6 is tough for most people, like very tough, like to the degree where they don't expect anyone to win it, because a pay-in of 1 silver or whatever to get gold out of it, they need to have a lot of people fail in order to make a profit. So they assume that nobody's going to hit 4, which is the case when people don't have proficiency in martial range weapons, right? Like it takes a lot of luck in order to get to 4. To hit 6 in a row is nigh on impossible. So I mean, for the common person, so there's an element of it where you're a bit like, it's kind of a like, it's a classic circus thing where it's like they're getting a lot of money in for what would essentially be
Impossible.
an impossible task.
The house always wins kind of thing.
Yeah, sort of thing. So you don't necessarily feel bad about the business side of it.
Yeah.
So they must have adventurers come through here relatively often, surely.
Surely.
So this is, I mean, it is.
Surely.
It's in the Forgotten Realm, so adventures exist, but like it's not close enough to Nesmith, which is the adventuring kind of capital of Cormyr, that they have a high population of adventurers. Because essentially, remember, this is a big event, and also this isn't, they're not even necessarily from Cormyr. This circus, they've come from somewhere else to be here.
They come from a place where circuses cheat. I see. No, I'm kidding. Yep. So gonna totally identify that arrow while we're walking around, short rest style.
Okie dokie. So we're gonna skip that for when I have properly decided what the arrows are, because
Hey.
I was like, oh, this is what they're gonna win, and then I put an asterisk next to it, like, find
Do
some
this
stats
later.
for this, and then I never went back to it. So we'll
Nice.
figure that out.
And you
Can I
didn't
tell
make them
they're
cheat.
magic at least?
I mean, they are at least very well made.
Okay.
Are they Gucci?
They're good.
They give good vibes.
But
good ones.
unfortunately, there's an asterisk next to them, so I'll decide whether or not they're very well
Okay.
made or magical when I get back to it.
Okay.
For rolling some tables or deciding whether that's OP. What the fuck? I ain't give that to my players. Or oh, that's a bit shit. I want them to have something cool. We'll decide. I'll decide later. Depends on how I feel when I'm going through the tables.
Oh no. Tune in next week to see if
has
Tom
Jenny been
hates
nice
me
to
or
me?
not.
Nice to me recently. I don't know. Actually, on that note, if you guys haven't seen, Jenny recently made me an emote for my channel. Look how cute it is. Look how
Go
cute it
shoot.
is. It's an
Go
early
shoot.
birthday present.
Oh.
You're touching him out. They're so cute.
So you're saying she's been really nice to you lately?
Yeah.
Early
Yeah.
birthday present.
Unfortunately.
Shit.
Right. Okay. So there's another tent to explore if you want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Here I was thinking we get to your performance today, but that's not going to happen. That's
It's
fine.
too
It
much
just
like-
means that I planned better than I thought I did.
Who would have thought? Always thought.
It never happens.
There's distractions everywhere.
True.
So what do you want to do?
I want to make a parody of the D&D song to ADHD. Let's go. Do we want to go see what the other circus has? Maybe
Yeah.
they have a game that you can win too.
No, I don't think I'll win another one. People might arouse suspicions if I start winning all the games.
Oro just cleans all the circuses out.
Gotta go, see ya.
Gotta go.
Got all my loot.
This is way easier than going into dungeons.
There's almost no risk of death. So heading into the other tent has a very different vibe. So the Herb Browning's Humble Circus is very kind of joyful and upbeat. There were lots of fragrances of different foods. There were lots of stalls that had lots of different kind of smoked meats, and not stereotypical at all, and alcoholic beverages, sausages and stuff.
Sausages on a stick.
A little bit of gator.
Oh my god, did they
fried
have
gator?
fried flavored butter?
They've got fried gator is what I'm saying.
Okay.
They got fried gator. But so you move into this other one, and like so the Circus of Columba is very exciting, and everything's like, oh my god, everything is so amazing, and everyone's doing crazy shit like swallowing swords. Oh my god. Whereas the circus, Herb Browning's Humble Circus is a lot more like. It feels a bit more like a community event where there are games, but also food and just music and stuff. Pardon me. And in the Circus of Wonders, it's a very different vibe. The Circus of Wonders is kind of a little bit more like dark and mysterious. And you can see that there are like people doing like tarot readings, or like there's like an oracle and that kind of thing.
Well, I don't want to do all of that now.
You also see that they have borrowed Salvor the Incredible. They've borrowed him for their kind of. So from what you could see when you're in Herb Browning's Humble Circus is that they had their own people. And you've not seen the circus intermingle too much, but it looks a little bit like this circus was low on things to do for a Friday. Like it doesn't look like the read that Oro gets, at least from having worked in the circus. This isn't necessarily something that Randall and Nerody are privy to. Is that perhaps their circus culture is a bit less, let's do an event on Friday to get all the people in, and a bit more like dark and mysterious and edgy. And because of that, they're a bit more aloof, and they don't have acts that will just pander to the crowd. So Oro, the read that Oro has is that they've borrowed acts from the home circus, Circus of Columbia, to kind of like just be filler for today. It is noticeably quieter in here. There are fewer people in here, but you suspect that it might be due to its edgy nature, and that kind of thing. It looks like they have a kind of like one of those like curiosity dungeon sort of things where it's just like a tent full of weird shit. And they've got a couple of different acts that are kind of like walking around. You can see that the Sylvania is also in here doing some contortion stuff. and they've kind of got things like laying on a bed of nails and stuff like that, like the kind of like darker, more sadistic kind of circus style.
Adam's family. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. But the person who's the main event in here is Salvor the Incredible, who's doing arm wrestling. And he's got like, so you can see that in this tent there are a lot more kenku than any of the other tents. They are, again, mostly wandering around doing. They all seem to have something to do. Like they've got something on their mind. They're going about their business. But there are a couple who are in the rafters. So like the scaffolding of the tents and stuff, you can see that, like, as you're kind of looking around, you see like a beak occasionally. Like they kind of blend into the darkness, and you kind of just see that there's like a beak or some, like a feather falls down or something like that. Something kind of reveals their position a little bit. It looks a little bit more like they're being it doesn't necessarily feel like to you that they're purposefully being like concealing themselves, but it seems like they lend themselves to that very easily. Like they're almost accidentally being too like stealthy or whatever. But there is somebody who is in the scaffolding pretty much immediately above Salvor. Like he's kind of like watching the business. And he kind of sees her. Oh! Come to me, my child! Face me! The mighty Salvor!
Listen, we've done this many times before. We know I can't win. I'm an eighth of the size of you.
And he just kind of like, he just like offers a hug, like, you know, asking for consent to pick you up. And he just kind of like squeezes you. And it's like, it's like he, there's like a difference between the hugs that you get from Vince and from Salvor. Salvor is purposefully crushing you. Vince is doing it because he doesn't know his own strength. Salvor's just like he's doing a bit where he's like, he bear hugs you and squeezes you a bit too tight, whereas Vince is like, oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. And he's like he like puts his arm out, face me, and he looks between Nurali and Randall. You realize at this point that you've lost Chad.
Oh.
What point have we only just realised that we lost Chad?
Just realised, yeah, he's gone.
I'm unsurprised by this. I look at Randall also.
What I mean, I'm gonna lose, but let's do it. I will face you.
Okay. Right. Well, he puts he pushes his coin purse towards you. He says, "Silver."
I give him a silver. What do I win when I beat you?
You will win the gift of my strength. And he pushes a bracer onto the table.
Oh.
It's very finely made. You can see that it has some depictions of what looks like giants on them, and they are all doing super strong poses. And you can see that there's kind of like a kind of a dwarven motif in like the way that it's studded and that kind of thing.
Randall is doing a broken arm. Another injury to Randall's list.
And he puts his arm out to challenge you.
Does my arm even reach?
He's a very, very big gentleman. So there's a difference in the height. There's like an adjustable like crank thing that they put on the like the patron side, because he's so big. They're like, he has to like, so he's huge. He's basically sat on the floor, and he leans forward and he puts his arm on the table, and the arm in itself is like half of your height, so it's way above you.
Awesome.
So you have like an adjustable seat that you like a stool, and then you put your arm properly so that you can reach like his arm.
Is
You
he
feel
like a Goliath?
No, he's an orc, but he's huge.
Oh, he's an orc. Okay.
So you're here and you've got this like you already kind of feel like you're at a bit of a disadvantage.
Yeah.
You're not not necessarily because of the size, but because you're somewhat thrown off. You're not at a natural height. Like you're cranked up a little bit. You're on a weird wobbly plateau or whatever.
Also, my stick arms.
And he puts his arm out and says, "Face me!" We're going to do contested strength checks. All right?
Yep.
So, please roll a strength check.
Not a save, just a check. Do I need to save to stop my arm breaking?
Oh, no.
So, for a moment, actually, it looks like he's underestimated your strength. He's looked at you up and expected you to be even weaker than you are.
Even weaker.
But what happens is for a moment, you win some ground, but he immediately takes it back.
I'm like, yeah, okay.
You've not lost yet by any means, but you're
Okay.
still contesting. But there was a fraction of a second where you had not the lead, but he definitely didn't expect you to be as strong as you did.
Okay.
Let's give it another shot. Once again, you're putting out a surprising amount of pressure that he's really not. You see for a second that his face like contorts, and he looks like he's actually concentrating. And this is something that Oro has not seen. Like it's a rare face when he actually starts to try. So we'll give it one more shot. He slams your hand down. So we're gonna. I'd like a strength save now. Yeah, you're fine. So the difference between the strength that you rolled and the strength that he rolled was so significant that I was gonna have a risk of you taking a small amount of damage. But no, he like for a split second, like for a short while, there's a bit of a contest, which you didn't expect because this guy's fucking huge. But it does like for a couple of seconds, it looks like he's actually like, no, okay, I'm gonna actually have to try. And then when he does try, it's just BAM! Immediately slams you down on the table. It was for a couple seconds, it felt like you were on an even keel.
Wow.
For a whole couple seconds.
What?
That took Randall by surprise, and then that's when he stopped pushing quite so hard, and that's when he was back.
I didn't immediately lose. Oh, there it was.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Never mind.
And he's like, no one can beat Salvo! Salvo the Incredible! And up in the rafters you hear, Salvo the Incredible! like a mocking tone. And then like some bird poop lands on the floor next to him. And you can see that his face is like he's trying to keep a straight face. He's like, and he just leans a bit closer to Oro and just goes, "I'm really looking forward to this being over."
Not long now.
Hesitation to poop off the floor.
He nods. He looks like he's really trying to contain his temper. These birds.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Not long. You can do it.
Oh, it's poop and feathers. Poop and feathers everywhere. He just shouts up, and you can see that the few patrons that are in here are all they kind of turn around.
The fuck? Jesus.
Immediately slams you down on the table. Is this part of Tom's fanfic about Randall? Oh, I love it.
So there are a couple other stalls around here that you can.
I immediately wander back to the tarot cards and the oracle.
Yeah. Okay. So a stall next to that is selling mystery goods.
Oh,
Mystery gold.
And there is a Kenku behind the stall who is perched on a high stall bench. That kind of overlooks this kind of very deep table. It's got like stands either side, but it's high up either side, but it also runs down onto quite a long table in front of him, which is kind of covered in black cloth, which has just various doodads and weird shit all over the table. Like there is like a bird's skull and like an engraving of like, what is it? Let me see if I can find it in the thing.
A bench.
There's an engraving of a bench.
Inside joke.
That's what it's going to be now. There's an engraving of a bench. There's a bunch of incense, a couple of different like kind of candles and stuff like that. But there's also, I mean, on the stool not too far away is the person who's reading tarot, doing divination.
Yeah, I'm going to the tarot, but they can do whatever they want.
Well, do I know anything about this? Can I see them? Do I know anything about this tarot reader?
You can give me a history check, but it's going to be a tough one.
14.
So you're not familiar with this particular tarot reader. You do know, however, that it would be bad etiquette for them to have a full-on divination show because of Hilda. Hilda's entire shtick is that she's a diviner of fates and all that kind of stuff. Like she is the main show, and it's like her birthday that everyone's celebrating.
Yeah.
So it would be bad form for them to have a full-on show. So it appears from what you can see that this is like a dumbed down tarot light, as it were. And I say tarot very loosely. I mean that she looks like she's reading or doing some kind of divination with cards. I don't mean what we think of when we think of tarot necessarily.
Yeah.
And we also see that there are, like a couple of like bones thrown out and some tea leaves to the side and that kind of thing. And that's that's kind of what you see. It's just like on the face of it. You don't actually see anyone behind the stool.
It's like a bell to ring or anything.
There is a bell like right in the front of the table that is it's not marked at all. It's just like a little ding ding ding. Immediately a little kobold pops his head up. They are so short that they are just here.
Hello.
Hi.
Are you reading cards?
Cards? What?
And I point at the table.
You don't want those. No. You want these. And he kind of like climbs up. You can see there is a stool back there, and he's kind of got his feet on the stool, and he kind of pushes himself over onto it and picks up the bones. You want these?
Well, I wanted those, but if this is what you do, then that's okay.
These are what you want. You want these?
All right.
Puts his hand out and starts demanding coin.
How much?
Shinies.
I already gave a silver away, so I'll give him, since I'm only getting bones, I'll give him 4 copper.
He takes it. These are wrong color.
Well, you didn't tell me what you wanted.
Other ones.
I don't. So I'm actually out of silver. So like I have gold and I have copper. So I'm just kind of like.
I'm gonna for the sake of ease and because I don't want to have to run a bank within the game, you can easily exchange gold for copper or for silver within your own purse. For example, if I were to say you find 10 gold pieces on the dead whatever, What I actually mean is you find the equivalent. Of
Okay,
10
okay.
That could be in all kinds of different forms of currency.
I'm gonna prestidigitation the ones he spit on, take them back, and then I'll give him a silver and see what happens.
Yes! Yes! So he kind of blows onto the bones and then he scatters them across the table in front of you. There is a small, like, kind of border to the table that they bounce off of and they kind of float back towards him. And he's like, and he gets down on the table and he starts to like really get up in there with his nose and his eyes, and he's like looking at them really, really close. As you can see, he kind of pours himself over the table. You can see his scales are really like a bright orange, and you can see like his tail and his legs and stuff as he pours himself over this this table. And he's like, no, don't get.
I don't understand.
Well, this not supposed to be here.
What's not supposed to be there?
This, and he picks up one of the bones, and he shows it to you.
Is that not one of yours?
Wasn't there a second ago? And he puts it aside, and then he picks up the bones again. He goes, and he throws them across the table. And then miraculously, the bone is still there.
Does it fall in exactly like the same pattern? And there's just like a duplicate?
Yeah. So it's like, so for example, he's scooped up 5 bones, thrown them out, and suddenly there are 6. And then he picks up the one that he says not supposed to be there, throws it aside, picks up the 5, throws it out again, and there are 6. And you can tell the particular bone that he's picked up that he was like, what the fuck, and put it aside, is still there, and it looks exactly the same.
Is that better this time?
No! It's the same!
That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. I've never read those before.
Whoa! Weird!
What is
Maybe you're special!
No.
And he goes, whoa! And then he just hides underneath the table again.
But what does it mean?
Maybe just special. Ooh.
It's like someone threw bones around.
Yeah. All right. Well,
One gold worth of spoons is either a lot of very shit spoons, or one really good spoon.
yeah,
Mm.
a golden
One
spoon.
golden spoon. Yep.
Which is a shit spoon you've coated in the gold that you would have spent on your spoons. All right. Well, thank you. I feel like a bit like I should have understood more about what happened in the end there and just kind of walk away like.
Would you like to roll an insight check, or Oro?
Yeah.
Tell you what, you can both roll an insight check. Oro gets advantage.
Okay. I clicked it. Don't know. No, yeah, see, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, no. I love how, like, despite having a +2, you consistently roll low enough on insight that we keep the naivety. Right,
True.
despite being relatively like proficient in it, your rolls on insight are low enough that we can keep it consistent with your character. Or you can tell, like, she's been had. Like, this is, I mean, essentially what he's done is he's done a trick of like some kind of trick that has been, it's a very lazy way of being like, I don't want to read your fortune, like, oh, it's impossible to read, you're so special. Because essentially what he's done is he's done some kind of sleight of hand trick where he's brought back that bone despite having looked like he's thrown it away. He's just put it back into his hand and thrown it out again. And you imagine that the bones are weighted so that when they land in a similar sort of manner. So you're pretty certain. Stop it, guys. Chat's being so nice to me today. in a non-smooth brain kind of way. Tika, stop. But you see,
Wrinkly
like,
brains.
so Oro is pretty certain that she's been had. Like, there's nothing in the rules of the circus about not conning people with this kind of stuff. Your particular circus doesn't participate, but like 99.9% of other circuses do. However, not all things that they do are cons. There are genuine people who can cast divination for you, and some will do it. And you suspect that that might have been the case, but because Hilda is doing a full-on show, and they're here at the hometown of Hilda, like, they're not going to do like an actual thing.
Yeah.
They're just like it's kind of like just a small thing in the back of a tent kind of thing. Whether or not you want to tell her that it was a fake is it's down to you.
I think as we're walking away, I'll just be like, "We'll go to Hilda. We'll see if Hilda can give you a reading of some kind. I think that'd be a bit better. A lot better. It'll be a lot better."
It was a bit anticlimactic. I mean, people have told me I was special my whole life, but that doesn't really mean anything unless you know in what way.
It might be.
Hurts me in my bones.
Might be those wings that you got on your back. Maybe then. That's pretty special.
And I look again, because obviously there's nothing there right now.
I'm sure she'll have something to say.
Okay. So, you have explored the circus tents. And tonight, we'll fast forward a little bit. You will be like, you find your way eventually to the kind of behind the backstage sort of area where is the residences for the majority of the crew. You find that Oro's previous residence has now been filled by other circus acts that they've managed to recruit since her departure. But you find, you've got your own bedding and stuff, so you find it relatively easy to find somewhere to tent up, basically. This evening, you've been invited. You don't get a chance to see Hilda. This is not unfamiliar to Oro. I mean, she's a busy lady. You won't see her until the evening, but she's invited you to have dinner with her. So we leave today's session knowing that next session we will move on to a dinner with Hilda, and then we'll have the performance the day after.
Sick.
Okay?
Yeah.
Cool. So that is today's session.
Hell yeah.
We done? We done.
We done.
We
A
done.
dinner date. Oh my god.
A dinner date. Wow.
I'm definitely
Yeah,
gonna
like
make my
candles.
magic dress match the colors of their circus for the dinner.
I like that. That's cool. That's very cool. Let me save my notes. Excelente. Okay, so that's next week, isn't it? I don't know why I'm checking my calendar like I've got anything on next.
Like, most of us can't really go anywhere or do anything these days,
exactly.
so
What I will say is that earlier today, Katie and I sat down and we had a powwow. We had a brainstorm about the charity campaign, and we've come up with some fucking cool ideas. So that's going to be on the books, like, in the future at some point.
Just woke up with little shakes.
she was sleeping hard. Yeah.
Oh.
Yawn. Big yawn.
Oh, scratchy.
Oh, just so fluffy.
Come here.
Oh, the little meow. I miss animals. So yeah, no, we've thought of we've cooked up some cool stuff. we're still a while away from like particulars about like the campaign itself, but Jenny will talk about some potential things that we could maybe cook up together. But then we'll do a charity campaign and we'll raise money for the Mental Health Foundation and it'll be great.
Yes.
Woo!
Is that
So it's on the
exciting,
books.
Gracie?
We've gone from having a vague idea to having slightly more specific vague ideas.
That's how it goes.
Both of us have such like loose DM styles. You do like mounds more prep than I've ever done for anything. I have like very loose outline notes, and you always feel like you don't do any prep. So I wonder what it would look like for someone who literally sits down and actually maps things out instead of has the outline and then the like main point things and then like small notes about like personalities or whatever that you need to remember, and then everything else is just winging it.
I mean, it's funny because we have like our discussions for like brainstorming and stuff, and the things that I come up with to you might be like, oh, he's planning so much. You have no idea how much of this last session I just improvised. You've got no idea, and I'm gonna keep it that way.
It's like that picture you posted in the Discord the other day, the Homer Simpson one.
Exactly.
all the stuff pinned back.
Perfect.
It'll live on my brain, that image.
Right. So I'm gonna close this. So are you doing your Animal Crossing stream?
You darn tootin'.
You darn tootin'.
You darn tootin'.
I am darn tootin'.
Can you
That's
hear
me.
her purring?
No.
Super loud. I'm gonna turn the gain up. I'll be real loud for a second. Can you hear it now?
Oh.
Okay.
So like if Kent DM'd Kent.
Who's Kent?
Kent?
Kent.
Kent.
Kent?
Kent.
Oh, you're talking about Kenneth. Ken.
Oh, Ken.
Ken. Oh,
Kent
Kent Weebs.
Weebs? I don't know who that is.
What? Who's that? Okay, anyway. Let's pull the plug on this so that Jenny can go ahead with her Animal Crossing stream. Are you doing the end and then restart thing?
Yeah, I'll probably be back in like 15 minutes, about 10:30. Or 10:30, whatever hour you're in. You win.
Actually, in one of those weird time zones where it's actually offset by non-hour exact amounts.
Yes.
Then I'll be in 15 minutes from now.
Yes.
15 to 17 minutes from now.
True.
Right. I'm gonna go eat. It's been good as always.
Been real, pals.
It's been real. It's been real. Bye, everybody.
Oh, look, she's like, what the fuck? What are you doing to me? What am I trying to look? Where am I trying? Oh. All right. See you next week, everyone. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.